สำหรับผมในกีฬาฟุตซอลครับ2อย่างที่ต้องมีครับในตัวนักกีฬาฟุตซอลครับก็ระเบียบวินัยแล้วก็ความมุ่งมั่นครับมี2อย่างนี้ก็ทำให้คุณอาจจะประสบความสำเร็จได้ครับ
ก็ฟุตซอลเป็นเหมือนชีวิตผมครับเพราะว่าผมทำมันมาตั้งแต่เด็กแล้วก็คิดว่ามันน่าจะเป็นส่วนหนึ่งในชีวิตของผมเลยครับ
ผมเสียสละในกีฬานี้ก็ในเรื่องของเวลาครับเพราะว่าเราต้องทิ้งทุกอย่างไปข้างหลังครับแล้วก็คอนเซนเทรตแล้วก็มีความมุ่งมั่นกับกีฬานี้เพื่อที่จะพัฒนาตัวเองแล้วก็ไปสู่ความสำเร็จครับ
สำหรับต้องมีความมุ่งมั่นแล้วก็ความอดทนแล้วก็ความพยายามครับผมถึงประสบความสำเร็จได้ครับ
พวกเราไม่เคยหยุดไล่ล่าพวกเรามาที่นี่เพื่อพิชิตพวกเราหยุดไม่ได้
A good futsal player has to be intelligent. It's the most important quality in a futsal player because a futsal player is very fast, and you have to think really fast. You don't have time, you don't have a space. They have to enjoy the game. This finally futsal or football or basketball or tennis, it's only a game, so they have to enjoy. If they don't enjoy the game, they don't improve. No, they know that we know as coaches that every day is good for improving your level, so you have to work hard every day. It's detail, it's important for improve your career. The group is the key of success. If you don't have a union group, you can win some matches, you can win some tournaments, but finally you don't win the World Cup or you don't win the European Championship. You need a strong group and everybody go in the same direction. The futsal is totally different than in Europe or in other countries. I think there are good levels here in Australia. There are good players, so they have to work hard. And maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
In the end, Andriopoulos has it break favourably to her. Bennett, not beyond Racinos, who again has another up with her. McCaffrey's clip nearly played it into Curry's path, but in the end, Carlton Hart will settle for a corner. Selena Danilis just wanted to start things off for 1-0 once again before being reminded that it was in fact a Hart corner. No, in fact it's a deep 1-0 side ball. My apologies, Danilis wanted Andriopoulos. Duffy cut it out. Scott Nicker mopped it up and did terrifically to keep it in play. Andriopoulos twisting and turning, trying to work away beyond Wilbert. Did well to get it through the legs of her. Then Duffy, Racinos on hand. The final hand to clear it away ever so deftly. Bennett couldn't work it round the corner. Reece Interisi wants an early timeout. One which he will be obliged by the officials. The deadlock remains unbroken as both of these sides have started at a frenetic and a rather free-flowing pace. As we go to our first timeout, it's Carlton Hart 0, 1-0.
สำหรับผมในกีฬาฟุตซอลครับ2อย่างที่ต้องมีครับในตัวนักกีฬาฟุตซอลครับก็ระเบียบวินัยแล้วก็ความมุ่งมั่นครับมี2อย่างนี้ก็ทำให้คุณอาจจะประสบความสำเร็จได้ครับ
ก็ฟุตซอลเป็นเหมือนชีวิตผมครับเพราะว่าผมทำมันมาตั้งแต่เด็กแล้วก็คิดว่ามันน่าจะเป็นส่วนหนึ่งในชีวิตของผมเลยครับ
ผมเสียสละในกีฬานี้ก็ในเรื่องของเวลาครับเพราะว่าเราต้องทิ้งทุกอย่างไปข้างหลังครับแล้วก็คอนเซนเทรตแล้วก็มีความมุ่งมั่นกับกีฬานี้เพื่อที่
We return from timeout. Scoreline still 0-0 between 1-0 and Hart, and Bennett is looking to blemish Hart's clean sheet. Howard cut it out, and when trying to clip it down the line, was met by Bennett. Reece Interisi called a very early timeout. It's not something you see Hart do too often. What do you think the message would have been, Josh?
To be honest with you, there's so many multiple things that Reece could say in this situation, particularly when you haven't broken down a team like 1-0. And often, you know that Carlton Hart is a team that does like to score goals. So I would say keep at it because they are getting opportunities. And I think he would go along those lines.
Hart certainly have made a habit of hitting early. Bennett down the line for Scott Nicker, another person who's started to find her shine in recent weeks. Curry gave that away to McCaffrey, who stopped herself up terrifically. Just invited the press and then evaded it all on her own. Bennett with a loose touch. McCaffrey will make it work. Clipped it wide for Scott Nicker. That's a super ball to find there too. Waited on the overlap, waited perfectly for Andriopoulos, who got around Duffy, but in the end couldn't find a more meaningful touch to set herself in on Alvarenga. Bennett with another read and 1-0 can go forward again. Scott Nicker down the line, has worked an angle, has gone round two. That is a terrific finish. What a wonderful opening goal on the final day. Scott Nicker shifted it away from Alvarenga, sat them both down and steered it in with certainty.
We've just watched 13 minutes and you think to yourself 1-0 and not going to score. They haven't got to have that opportunity. And then all of a sudden it's a bit of magic from Stadnika. Beats her player, goes around the keeper. Lovely finish into the back of the net. Wonderful. And now, Carlton Hart chasing.
Scott Nicker's at it again. Cycled it to McCaffrey. That is a superb goal. Just to have the composure to go round two players. And then to have the finish as well, knowing that Alvarenga was just going to try and prevent it at all costs. That's a brilliantly taken goal. This time losing out to Racinos. Nothing sinister about Scott Nicker's challenge, but it was late and it will give Hart a free kick. And maybe an opportunity to get themselves level. Safe to say 1-0 have started this game the brighter of these two sides so far. Had a couple of early looks and have limited Hart's ability to make headway. However, a dead ball and a set piece presents a plethora of possibilities.
Looks like Howard has the potential from that range to make some magic. And the referee just stepping in to ensure that the Carlton Hart players are not obscuring the view of the keeper and not obscuring her ability to actually make a save. And here we go.
Howard's free kick. Danilis being crowded out. Bennett in the way to make the block. McCaffrey mopped it up and has got Bennett down the line, who was on the charge. The ball, the ever so slightest bit too heavy. And it allowed Alvarenga to mop it up. Scott Nicker in retreat, nodded it down. Racinos was being pulled back by Andriopoulos. Those two entangled with one another, and it'll be another Hart free kick.
And with a player like Racinos, what she's so good at is getting into the heads of the opponent. She's like a little pit bull, causing them to really rough her up a little bit. She takes advantage of those little, even if it's minor bits of contact to go down. It's actually very smart from the player.
Howard free kick, take two. Danilis with a better line of sight this time. Howard tried to go down the line. Wanted the late run from Racinos, who didn't quite oblige her, and in the end, Selena Danilis with a dive just to be safe, but it'll trickle out for the keeper's ball. That's a lovely loft for Scott Nicker. The idea was there to find Andriopoulos. She just couldn't quite get a connection on it. Curry, lovely shift down the line. Duffy tried a delightful 1-2, cut out by Bennett. McCaffrey battling, challenging, got away from Duffy. Bennett now wanted to fizz it down the line, and 1-0 will keep it.
I just want to make note how good Sofia Alvarenga has been this season. One of the people that you didn't think perhaps would be as good as they were, but her form for Carlton Hart has shown why she is really a top goalkeeper in this league.
Scott Nicker with a smashing ball for Andriopoulos. Racinos had to get in the way in the end to make that challenge. Otherwise, Alvarenga would have had a bit of work to do. She went long. McCaffrey cut it out. He'll find touch, and it'll be Wilbert's side ball to restart things. Hart on the search for an equaliser. They would not want a sour end to a season, which they have shown so much promise. McCaffrey with a lovely cutout as Howard wanted to fizz it. Beautiful ball for Andriopoulos. Wanted Bennett down the line. Brilliant read from Wilbert. Curry tried to turn it on. McCaffrey in the way and has kept it in. Scott Nicker was on the overlap. Curry's challenge, a firm one and a fair one. Andriopoulos tried the switch for Scott Nicker. Take two makes it work. Scott Nicker had options, left and right, tried to be inventive. Howard had to get the block on that. Had to be in the way, otherwise 1-0 we're in again.
And abracadabra, the game has switched in terms of play styles. It's now 1-0 that's really taking those strides forward, playing creatively. You can see Sophie McCaffrey just fancy with her footwork, trying to get through that Carlton Hart defence, and they're sitting back trying to counter.
Trevor Silt for Scott Nicker down the line, who's operated that left flank with a lot of trickery so far, a lot of flair, and the finish for the only goal of this game had some finesse to it as well. Here she is again, crowded out by two. Oh, that is glorious. Scott Nicker away from two, sliding for Andriopoulos, who couldn't turn it in. What a brilliant 1-0 move. Scott Nicker out of nowhere, scythe through the Hart defence, and Andriopoulos just couldn't apply the finishing touch.
She's been a magician tonight for 1-0. The way she just manages to circumvent those Carlton Hart defenders. Absolutely phenomenal. I didn't know she had that quality, to be honest. She hasn't had that freedom in most other games that I've watched.
Curry, hustled by Andriopoulos, recycled it to Wilbert. McCaffrey, who's sitting highest, was the one on the press and has done so effectively. Andriopoulos from range, Alvarenga down low with a smart save, and Curry just has to clear her lines. 1-0 are on an onslaught at the moment. Andriopoulos, maybe no respite for Hart. McCaffrey slid it into Scott Nicker. Howard with a tidy challenge. Wilbert might want to go the other way. Scott Nicker just slowing her up. Trevor Siol helping her win it back. Andriopoulos. McCaffrey. This time with Loft looking for Trevor Siol. Howard won it down. Racinos in retreat. Did enough to keep it for Hart. Howard. Touch. a little bit looser. And the one thing so far in this game, Josh, that 1-0 have been really good at, the pressure and just not allowing Hart to have the patience, which has given them so much control in games in recent months. The pressure's been brilliant.
Absolutely, it's squad cohesion, and that's what makes the magic happen. But I'll stop myself there. A wonderful shot, and I think it's taken a deflection off the Carlton Hart defender. It is a corner.
Trevor Seol's turn goalward took a touch. 1-0 corner. McCaffrey might try to lace one. Got a touch off Geelong, which made it uncomfortable for Alvarenga, who claimed it and then gave it back to McCaffrey. Couldn't quite work it beyond Wilbert. Was hit with venom. Anna Geelong did the right thing in trying to make the block. Didn't know a lot about it. Trevor Seol away from Howard. Trevor Seol, lovely ball. Andriopoulos worked inside of Geelong. Was eventually held up and on the switch. Switched it with too much pace out of play.
Carlton Hart to reset. It has been a difficult half for them now, with just a minute left, Ethan, to make some magic, and it could be here. Just too long.
First half that's flown by as well. The first start, first of 3 on the final day of the season, not just in Series Futsal Women's, but for the league in its entirety. What a season it's been. It's been unbelievable from top to bottom across every single division. There's been drama, and it's been as captivating as ever. First one in Darabin, and it's been Julie. Wonderful. Andriopoulos got it through to Trevor Seol in the end. Geelong in retreat. Scott Nicker on the overlap with a lovely strike on the slide, and Alvarenga had to turn it away at the expense of a corner.
Hasn't she been dangerous tonight? Every time she touches the ball, there's almost sinister intent to pass Alvarenga. I would be watching her if I was Carlton Hart. In that halftime break, I would be telling my team, make sure you don't let her go anywhere. If she goes to the bathroom, follow her. If she goes to the toilet, come back. If she goes to the car park, follow her.
I don't think the messaging will be that harsh from Reece Teresi, but he will certainly have something to say, as Scott Nicker's superb, absolutely smashing goal currently is the difference maker in one which 1-0 have had the better of the first half. They lead Hart by a goal to 0 at the break.
พัฒนาตัวเองแล้วก็ไปสู่ความสำเร็จครับ
สำหรับต้องมีความมุ่งมั่นแล้วก็ความอดทนแล้วก็ความพยายามครับผมถึงจะถึงประสบความสำเร็จได้ครับ
พวกเราไม่เคยหยุดไล่ล่า พวกเรามาที่นี่เพื่อพิชิต พวกเราหยุดไม่ได้
A good futsal player has to be intelligent. It's the most important quality in a futsal player, because in futsal play is very fast, and you have to think really fast. You don't have time, you don't have a space. They have to enjoy the game. This finally, futsal or football or basketball or tennis, it's only a game, so they have to enjoy. If they don't enjoy the game, they don't improve. No, they know that we know as coaches that every day is good for improving your level, so you have to work hard every day. It's detail, it's important for improve your career. The group is the key of success. If you don't have a union group, you can win some matches, you can win some tournaments, but finally you don't win the World Cup or you don't win the European Championship. You need a strong group and everybody go in the same direction. The futsal is totally different than in Europe or in other countries. I think there are good levels here in Australia. There are good players, so they have to work hard.
We return from half-time. For the final time in the seasons of these two, 1-0 are their namesake up against Carlton Hearts, thanks to a simply superb goal, courtesy of Scott Nicker. She sat two down, one of them being Sofia Alvarenga, and then steered it into the net superbly. That is where things stand. 1-0 have had a few other looks as well. Hart might want to knock on the door in the second half to end on a win. Wilbert wants to do that from the off. They need at least two. Juwong, wide for Duffy. Three players who have been a part of this Carlton Heart core this season. Here's Anna Juwong. Wanted Wilbert down the line, who got away from McCaffrey. Wilbert has done terrifically to keep that alive. Turned it back for Duffy. Howard was on the switch. McCaffrey is clipping at the heels. Scott Nicker came to join her and has eventually won it back off Howard. McCaffrey was up. Duffy's won it back. Harder 2-on-2. Juwong's all on her own. Duffy tried to roll it to her with deftness, but now two nipped in to steal it. 3-on-2 the other way. Trevisiol is one. Works it to the back post brilliantly. What a brilliant goal on the break. Beautiful futsal from 1-0, and they double their lead on the counter. Carlton giving it away. Now two with a tidy challenge. Trevisiol with a terrific ball. And Scott Nicker's second of the night was charging in at the back post to slide it beyond Alvarenga. And Hearts have a little bit to do if they are to finish the season on a nice note. Wilbert skipped away from now two, skipped away from nearly all of them. Brilliant ball. Howard's got it under Danilis, and they have one back immediately. Wonderful goal, courtesy of a magnificent run from Wilbert. Just cruised their way through the 1-0 defence. And Howard, who got a touch in ahead of Danilis, then turned it into the net ever so tidily. McCaffrey, they wanted an initial response. Scott Nicker wanted a hat-trick. Instead, Alvarenga's found Wilbert, who's gone for Howard with height. Now 2-1 in. Trevisiol turned it back to her, worked it wide for Scott Nicker. Now two, just waiting on the runners. Trevisiol was on the switch, Scott Nicker moving centrally. McCaffrey wanting some similar levels of movement. Patience from 1-0. Trevisiol tried to steer it down the line for now two. But again, it was just a little bit too heavy. Howard into Duffy, wanted to drop it back for Wilbert, but in the end, dropped it out of play instead. We mentioned earlier this season, Hart. They went on an 8-game unbeaten run. They then went 4 without a win before snapping that against Thornbury in emphatic fashion. This time last week. The last win before that was the one against Western United, which just had the door open to a top 3 finish momentarily. But they then hit a really difficult run of fixtures. Started against Fitzroy in a game where Reece Interisi's side were just no match for the Tigers on that night. Draw against Heidelberg in a game that they held the control of. They of course played the defending champions Melbourne Aku as well, and then Northern Phoenix beat them in a 6-5 thriller, restoring themselves to winning ways last week. McCaffrey couldn't turn it for Trevisiol. Howard's got Duffy central, chose to go alone. Danilis made a smart save and swept it up with a slide. Trevisiol clearing her lines to get it away from danger. Now two's made it work. Had two around her. Juwong did well to shut the door. And we, at the start of the month, of July that is, not August, said that it would be a crucial one for Hart. They would need to win all of those games if they were to finish in the top 3. Although, it is safe to be said, a 4th place finish is not something to be discarded. It's not something to be glossed over. They've been brilliant this season as well. Played some lovely futsal at times. That's a giveaway from Wilbert. Skotnicker for a hat-trick has hit the post. Hard blush is spared and Howard hooked it away. McCaffrey in retreat. Duffy pressing her. Will be the keeper's ball. Danilis wanted to get going with some sort of urgency. Found now 2 down the line. Not away from Wilbert. Skotnicker again trying to shift it beyond her. More tidy footwork. McCaffrey fizzed it into now 2, who took a very tidy touch. Trevisiol got away from Curry at the second attempt. McCaffrey. 1-0 exercising a lot of control. McCaffrey couldn't quite stab it for Skotnicker, who'd moved centrally just at the wrong time. A little bit of misfortune. Curry from Alvarenga. Away from Trevisiol, had Duffy up with her. Waited on the runners. Duong was one of them. Curry's still going. McCaffrey made sure she recycled it to Wilbert. Now 2's done well in retreat. Trevisiol up with her. Wilbert with a lovely read. And Hearts have got the numbers forward. But Karina now 2 in with an all-important challenge.
And Ethan, you've watched this game now. There's 17 minutes to go. What does Carlton Hart have to do to get back into this game? I'll stop myself. They've done it anyway.
That is exactly it. Duong, a real poacher's effort with a very tidy finish, a good piece of anticipation. And Hearts, who were 2 down, have themselves level.
And just in the blink of an eye, everything changes, and all of a sudden it's 2-2. 1-0, who have been, in my opinion, quite the dominant team this game. Now must play on level terms once more.
Now 2. Turned it on for Trevisiol. They did hit the post as well, with an opportunity to go 3-1 up. Skotnicker wanted some Samba futsal there momentarily. And with everything she's done tonight, why wouldn't you give it a go? Duffy dropped it back for Wilbert. Worked it down the line for Racinos, who's waiting on the runner. That's a tidy ball, but again a fraction too heavy, and it just invites Danilis to come off her line and sweep up for 1-0. Trevisiol couldn't get beyond Curry, who's bearing down Danilis with a brilliant save. Trevisiol has given it away to Racinos this time, who's gone on the drive. Danilis didn't know much about the bobble on the second, but the initial contact was a good one.
And again, a fantastic effort from Danilis to make that double save. She is such a fantastic goalkeeper, particularly considering her age and her experience. It's almost like she's been playing for years.
Wilbert from the corner. Tidy to get away from Trevisiol. Curry trying to get away around McCaffrey. Wilbert obliged her down the line. Hart wanting to work an angle. Racinos nearly stabbed it goalwards. Again, had to go through a blue wall, which has been well and truly instated.
Ooh.
And Racinos,
She does not look okay.
is moving rather gingerly because of it. This is not good for Hart.
Well, an injury is not really good for anybody, and it's just unfortunate. It looks like she is really struggling to take those steps, even just to get off the court. Still manages to exit the exit the court correctly.
She's clutching her foot, which it looks like a really nasty one. It's to hobble away to the bench. This is really not good for Racinos. We will give you an update as to her well-being, as now 2 rattles 1 wide. But thankfully, the one thing I will say thankfully, when you see somebody get up and hobble like that, you instantly think the worst. It will be a pretty frightful foot injury, but we're thankful it's not a knee or anything in and around that.
Absolutely, knee injuries, I think, in sports, particularly something like futsal, where you're so explosive and it necessitates the use of the knee. That's a killer for any athlete.
It's just from the landing as well that I kind of had that feeling. You don't think the worst, you hope for the best, but it's always in the back of your mind. So thankfully for Racinos, who's testing that foot out, it looks like certainly a nasty one short term, but hopefully it means that even if she sees out the rest of the night without coming back on, she might be okay.
And I think Carlton Hart will really be worried if they can't get her back onto the court, because she is such a vital player, particularly for the energy of this team. And Carlton is a team that strives on physicality and pushing the pace.
Howard with a slide as Bennett was looking to drive her way forward. Now 2. Had an early go. Alvarenga happy to watch it drift wide. First of 3 tonight, as we mentioned. Phoenix are up next, up against Fitzroy. And then Western United and Aku will round out the show. Aku already champions. Western United will know their fate by the time they take to court, whether second is still an option or not, because it all depends on the next game. So we still have quite a lot to play for on the final day.
Absolutely, and they're 2 blockbuster games. Fitzroy, of course, taking on Northern Phoenix in the battle for, I guess, Northern Phoenix need that win to really come into next season as a contender. They didn't quite have that success this season, and Fitzroy want to continue their run undefeated. Unlucky against Aku, of course, but other than that, they've been absolutely fantastic.
Wilbert tangling with now 2, wins a side ball. Quickly taken, Duffy didn't get a clean connection on it. Now 2 can lead the break now. Trevisiol one way, Bennett's at the back stick. Trevisiol turns it to her and Bennett couldn't turn it in. But 1-0 again, were blistering on the break. Bennett just turning it wide.
And it's almost like she could have taken that shot herself at the near post. There was enough space to maybe sneak that ball through. She decided to be unselfish and it didn't quite work.
McCaffrey with a brilliant block to deny Duffy at the other end. Just as 1-0 might have been ruining their misses, Hart saw it as an opportunity to fashion an opening. Brilliant block. Howard this time, Danilis gratefully claims it and then looked to drive it long out of the way of Alvarenga. These two have a bit of a history of some close encounters. Their first this season was a 2-1 win for Hart in a game that both teams really, you would say, took their time warming into. And the second was a 4-1 win for Hart in the middle of that 2-month unbeaten run. So the games have been closer than maybe a lot of scorelines suggest, but certainly on what we've seen tonight, if Hart are to do the treble over 1-0, it will still take a solid showing to the end. It's Howard. Duffy with 2 around her. Curry tried to take it on the turn, left it for Juong. Now 2 again, just in to make the challenge at the right time. A very interesting ploy from 1-0 as well. They have Andreopoulos and Scott Nicker both on the bench at the moment. So Josh, do you think when we approach the final 10 minutes, especially the final 5, will, having saved the legs of 2 players who have provided a lot of spark, be something that could prove fruitful?
Absolutely, and you always need that spark plug to really change a game. When a game is locked at 2-2, someone needs to step up, and both teams have their respective players who can make that magic.
Juong is one of them, and she's driving forward. Couldn't get around McCaffrey. Howard whipped it wide for Curry. Now Duffy, who tried to dart one through for Juong, but Danilis was quickly off her line to claim it. That's a beauty of a ball. Now 2's touch was what let her down when coming to apply the finish, and Alvarenga bravely off her line to cut it out. An equally brilliant ball. Juong with a chip. An inventive and inadvertent, nearly absolutely spectacular effort. He's caught it with a bit of loft. Danilis forced into a save. Howard, Danilis didn't get there. Juong still has it. Wilbert, who's just come back on. At the back post is Howard. Brilliant goal from Hart, who complete the turnaround. A terrific move, hammered in by Howard at the back post.
And Danilis found herself in no man's land, comes out of the trenches, and in her effort to recover, it was that back post tap in that wasn't dealt with effectively. 3-2.
Hart for the first time leads, but McCaffrey was wanting to draw things level immediately. And a rolling foul. She was impeded on her way forward. 1-0 corner. Trevisiol, Bennett. Now 2 was lurking. Howard happy to hook it away. Anywhere will do. The time being for Hart. Danilis to reload. McCaffrey try to whip it down the line via Wilbert. It'll reach Bennett. who had room on the flank, is still trying to turn. Will take a side ball instead. Wanted to fashion it. Now two! Brilliant save, Alvarenga. Now two got inventive, and Alvarenga had to get up, had to get a touch. And thankfully for her, tipped it onto and over the bar. 1-0 corner. Now two leaves it. McCaffrey to drill it. Wasn't far away. Alvarenga wanted to get things going, but has given it back to McCaffrey. And 1-0 have really got a chance. McCaffrey, Wilbert this time, the one making the block. Bennett side ball. Now two taking over again. This time wide. Working many an angle for herself. It's another terrific save from Alvarenga. A succession of 1-0 corners. Now to the recipient as McCaffrey dummied it. Racinos, who's back out on court, thankfully. Everything seems to be okay. Let's hook that away. Danilis reloads. McCaffrey again from range. Racinos with an important touch as it turned out as Bennett was lurking. She's now wanting to race forward. Trevisiol can turn the other way. Bennett one way, now to the other. Wilbert just making sure Bennett can't get there. Juong away from Trevisiol this time. Howard up with her. Juong not away from McCaffrey. Terrific challenge from Sophie McCaffrey as Hart were just looking to flood forward again. In a second half where they have done things the hard way so far, but they have found themselves ahead. Racinos allowed Andriopoulos to challenge. We wonder when she would come back on. The time is now. Howard. Oh, that's a brilliant ball, but Juong drifting into the channel. Wasn't able to get there in time. Danilis on for Andriopoulos, who's away from Racinos. Worked it back for Bennett. Andriopoulos once again. No way beyond Wilbert, who can lead the break. She has Racinos up with her. Wilbert driving to the back post, and neither Racinos nor the net could be found in the end. But once more, Hearts are knocking on the door. Been a much more free-flowing side in this second half, with 1-0, having made a bright start early. McCaffrey. Andriopoulos. Standing up Wilbert. McCaffrey once again. Wonder when the first time out for either side will be in this second half. Reece Teresi was quick to use it in the first half. However, the other side of half-time, neither manager has wanted to make any alterations, has wanted to call in their side to have a word. Howard. I suppose Teresi might be the happier of the two. Less of a means to it when your side have turned things around in the way that Hart have. Lovely read by Juong. Allowed Howard to challenge. Wanted to move it right for Racinos. Trickle out of play. Bennett down the line for now too. Howard's challenge a good one. Just to hold her up. Now to Bennett to draw one. Flashed it over. Flashed it over the top. It's a look for 1-0. Who are knocking on the door at the moment. Alvarenga with a smashing ball. Wilbert with a wonderful take. Worked it wide for Racinos. Wanted to find Juong. Instead, Andriopoulos cut it out. Howard with an all-important retreating touch. And then the back heel could have gone anywhere. Thankfully for Hart, it didn't allow 1-0 to go forward. Caffrey side ball. Danilis. Venturing beyond half court for the first time. It's been a feature of Selena Danilis' game this season. Juong with a tidy challenge on McCaffrey. Went home to Howard. Wilbert, who split them wonderfully. Juong stabbed a 1-2. Racinos was the recipient to make it work. An equally as good switch to re-find Juong. Wilbert operating centrally now. Two wanting to close the door. Juong down the line. Wilbert, this time, couldn't work it through the gap.
And Carlton Hart might have a chance to extend their lead from 1-2 from this set play. And again, trying to launch that ball into the middle. Cleared well from the defender from the use of the head.
Now two coming to take a breather. Scott Nicker on. So the two changes being rung by Costa could be coming at the right time. 1-0 find themselves in need of a goal. And what has been a great start to this final day. This final evening, should I say. Bennett got around Racinos. Couldn't get through Howard. Really deep side ball for 1-0. Who are pressing and really trying to push this Hart defence with everything they have. Andriopoulos with a tidy bit of footwork. This time wins a corner.
And one of the things I notice now is Carlton Hart is sitting so deep, they actually are inviting that pressure, and it's a chance that if 1-0 get the right shot off, it could backfire on them.
McCaffrey to drive one, wasn't far away. Almost on cue was McCaffrey. Reece Interici wants timeout. Timing of the essence for the Hart manager, and he will get timeout. His team have turned it around in the second half. They have been simply superb. They've been tested and have answered the call so far. As we go to timeout in the second half for the first time, it's Carlton Hart 3, 1-0 2.
And maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
We return from timeout. Hearts, having turned things around, leads 1-0 3-2. With time running out, neither side wants to end the season with a defeat in a game that's been entertaining and truly enthralling from start to finish, hasn't it, Josh?
Absolutely, and there's more to come with just 3 minutes left in this one. And it could start from this Carlton Hart breakaway. Racinos plays it forward. She might have a chance, and it's a great recovery from 1-0.
Scott Nicker just slowing up Duffy. Wilbert tried to work it for Racinos. McCaffrey cut it out. Andriopoulos has got room. Went early, and Alvarenga got set well and got down to make the save. Curry with a shoulder. Turned it out of play. We're approaching stop clock territory. McCaffrey giving it away. Wilbert has Curry up with her. Shut them all down, and Hart have a 2-goal buffer. Another amazing, another wonderful Wilbert run. And the ball was inch perfect, sliced through the 1-0 defence. And all Curry had to do was be on hand at the back post to turn it in.
She is just, again, her feet magic. The way she just swiftly passes her defender, it makes it look so easy. It's like cutting a knife through butter.
Hart have been a different side in this second half, where 1-0 dominated majority of the first. Maybe could have had more looks and more on the board than the one they had. Hart, to their credit, hung in there and are now reaping the rewards. McCaffrey side ball, tried to stab it through, stabbed it all the way through to Sophia Alvarenga, who sold Curry short, who was then clipped by Andriopoulos. Hart's free kick quickly taken for Wilbert. 1-0 going high on the press, and it leaves numbers out the back. McCaffrey with a great read. Bennett can go the other way. Scott Nicker, who's still hat-trick hunting, did well to hold it up, worked it on for Andriopoulos, didn't get around Duffy, who in turn was impeded when trying to break away. Northern Phoenix and Fitzroy next, to mark the midway point of the final day. And at the moment, Hart have a 2-goal lead and are looking for more. Duffy drilled it, McCaffrey cut it out, and then got around Duffy. Wilbert battling hard. McCaffrey came out on top in that challenge too. Wilbert, Curry, well worked to side of the press. Duffy, happy to recycle it. Alvarenga. Wilbert. Switched it for Curry, who took that down wonderfully, kept it alive. Duffy. Racinos is just holding that right flank. Wilbert. Curry. Hustle by Andriopoulos, who did ever so well, not only to win it back, but then to keep it for 1-0. Keeps things ticking over. If they are to get themselves level, to get themselves a point from the final day, things may need to start falling into place now. Bennett, away from Racinos. Andriopoulos with a heavy touch, and it'll trickle out of play. As we approach the closing stages of tonight's opener, what have you made of it, Josh?
Fantastic way to start the evening. The perfect entree to a three-course meal that is tonight. And we have the main course coming right up. Some might argue differently, but Northern Phoenix take on Fitzroy.
1-0 have a corner. It's a smorgasbord of series futsal on the final day. Lovely touch from Skotnik around the corner. Bennett. Andriopoulos central. Juwong with a tidy read. Wilbert can lead the break the other way. Duffy's up with her. Wilbert fancies one. Oh, brilliant. Absolutely beautiful. Once again, Cubby Wilbert on the break at her very best. Duffy just held the run, timed it to perfection, and has turned in a goal that you feel as though will secure 3 points for Hearts to close the season.
And if there was ever a doubt on who was player of the match this game, I think the debate's gone now. Kobe Wilbert, fantastic, and as always, omnipresent for this Carlton Hearts side.
3 assists tonight, hat-trick of them. Wilbert has been glorious. Duffy, it's lost out for Scott Nicker, who's had a sensational game herself. Wilbert again on the read. She might fancy one of her own. Juwong's up with her. Wilbert around Danilis. Touch was too heavy as she tried to go round them all. Nearly tiptoed her way to another goal.
And the way she moves when she dribbles the ball, it actually reminds me sometimes of a young Roberto Baggio. The way she is so swift.
Well, Wilbert with a wonderful, wonderful impact, and Hearts close out the season in the happiest way possible. They were tested by a 1-0 side who showed fight and who certainly gave us an entertainment to kickstart the final day. But full time in the early kickoff. It's Eastern 1-0 2. Carlton Heart 5.
สำหรับผมในกีฬาฟุตซอลครับ2 อย่างที่ต้องมีครับในตัวนักกีฬาฟุตซอลครับก็ระเบียบวินัยแล้วก็ความมุ่งมั่นครับมี2 อย่างนี้ก็ทำให้คุณอาจประสบความสำเร็จได้ครับ
ก็ฟุตซอลเป็นเหมือนชีวิตผมครับเพราะว่าผมทำมันมาตั้งแต่เด็กแล้วก็คิดว่ามันน่าจะเป็นส่วนหนึ่งในชีวิตของผมเลยครับ
ผมเสียสละในกีฬานี้ก็ในเรื่องของเวลาครับเพราะว่าเราต้องทิ้งทุกอย่างไปข้างหลังครับแล้วก็คอนเซนเทรตแล้วก็มีความมุ่งมั่นกับกีฬานี้เพื่อที่จะพัฒนาตัวเองแล้วก็ไปสู่ความสำเร็จครับ
สำหรับต้องมีความมุ่งมั่นแล้วก็ความอดทนแล้วก็ความพยายามครับผมถึงประสบความสำเร็จได้ครับ
พวกเราไม่เคยหยุดไล่ล่าพวกเรามาที่นี่เพื่อพิชิตพวกเราหยุดไม่ได้
A good futsal player has to be intelligent. It's the most important quality in a futsal player because in futsal play is very fast, and you have to think really fast. You don't have time, you don't have space. They have to enjoy the game. This finally futsal or football or basketball or tennis, it's only a game, so they have to enjoy. If they don't enjoy the game, they don't improve. No, they know that we know as coaches that every day is good for improve your level. So you have to work hard every day. It's detail. It's important for improve your career. The group is the key of success. If you don't have a union group, you can win some matches, you can win some tournaments, but finally you don't win the World Cup or you don't win the European Championship. You need a strong group and everybody go in the same direction. The futsal is totally different than in Europe or in other countries. I think there are good levels here in Australia. There are good players, so they have to work hard and maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
สำหรับผมในกีฬาฟุตซอลครับ2อย่างที่ต้องมีครับในตัวนักกีฬาฟุตซอลครับก็ระเบียบวินัยแล้วก็ความมุ่งมั่นครับมี2อย่างนี้ก็ทำให้คุณอาจจะประสบความสำเร็จได้ครับ
ก็ฟุตซอลเป็นเหมือนชีวิตผมครับเพราะว่าผมทำมันมาตั้งแต่เด็กแล้วก็คิดว่ามันน่าจะเป็นส่วนหนึ่งในชีวิตของผมเลยครับ
ผมเสียสละในกีฬานี้ก็ในเรื่องของเวลาครับเพราะว่าเราต้องทิ้งทุกอย่างไปข้างหลังครับแล้วก็คอนเซนเทรตแล้วก็มีความมุ่งมั่นกับกีฬานี้เพื่อที่จะพัฒนาตัวเองแล้วก็ไปสู่ความสำเร็จครับ
สำหรับต้องมีความมุ่งมั่นแล้วก็ความอดทนแล้วก็ความพยายามครับผมถึงประสบความสำเร็จได้ครับ
พวกเราไม่เคยหยุดไล่ล่าพวกเรามาที่นี่เพื่อพิชิตพวกเราหยุดไม่ได้
A good futsal player has to be intelligent. It's the most important quality in a futsal player because in futsal play is very fast, and you have to think really fast. You don't have time, you don't have space. they have to enjoy the game. This finally futsal or football or basketball or tennis, it's only a game, so they have to enjoy. If they don't enjoy the game, they don't improve. No, they know that we know as coaches that every day is good for improving your level. So you have to work hard every day. It's detail. It's important for improve your career. The group is the key of success. If you don't have a union group, you can win some matches, you can win some tournaments, but finally you don't win the World Cup or you don't win the European Championship. You need a strong group and everybody go in the same direction. The futsal is totally different than in Europe or in other countries. I think there are good levels here in Australia. There are good players, so they have to work hard. And maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
สำหรับผมในกีฬาฟุตซอลครับสองอย่างที่ต้องมีครับในตัวนักกีฬาฟุตซอลครับก็ระเบียบวินัยแล้วก็ความมุ่งมั่นครับมี2อย่างนี้ก็ทำให้คุณอาจจะประสบความสำเร็จได้ครับ
ก็ฟุตซอลเป็นเหมือนชีวิตผมครับเพราะว่าผมทำมันมาตั้งแต่เด็กแล้วก็คิดว่ามันน่าจะเป็นส่วนหนึ่งในชีวิตของผมเลยครับ
ผมเสียสละในกีฬานี้ก็ในเรื่องของเวลาครับเพราะว่าเราต้องทิ้งทุกอย่างไปข้างหลังครับแล้วก็คอนเซนเทรตแล้วก็มีความมุ่งมั่นกับกีฬานี้เพื่อที่จะพัฒนาตัวเองแล้วก็ไปสู่ความสำเร็จครับ
สำหรับต้องมีความมุ่งมั่นแล้วก็ความอดทนแล้วก็ความพยายามครับผมถึงประสบความสำเร็จได้ครับ
พวกเราไม่เคยหยุดไล่ล่าพวกเรามาที่นี่เพื่อพิชิตพวกเราหยุดไม่ได้
A good futsal player has to be intelligent. It's the most important quality in a futsal player because in futsal play is very fast, and you have to think really fast. You don't have time, you don't have a space. They have to enjoy the game. This finally futsal or football or basketball or tennis, it's only a game, so they have to enjoy. If they don't enjoy the game, they don't improve. No, they know that we know as coaches that every day is good for improving your level. So you have to work hard every day. It's detail. It's important for improve your career. The group.
We return for game 2 of the night. Northern Phoenix against Fitzroy. Fitzroy with a win can wrap up a top 2 finish, although they will have to do it with only 5. Dharma Georgie's on the bench, however, is not kitted up for Jimmy Soufas' side, so it will be Mason Jones, Pollicina, Richardson, McClure and Frascalzo. Not a bad 5 to have when you're going for a win to secure a top 2 finish for Phoenix.
Way. I think Frascalzo's down.
Frascalzo's gone down in a matter of seconds.
Ooh.
Oh my word.
Oh my goodness. Is she laughing as well? I can't tell.
This is a rarity. Claudia Frascalzo is one tough player. So for her to have gone down, this can't be good. Jimmy Soufas is not quite sure what to make of this.
Well, he's probably shocked. He's probably thinking to himself, I've been gone 15 seconds and now my star player is down on the floor with a potential injury.
And Fitzroy's Australian international, Fitzroy's futsal route.
I think she's just rolled the ankle.
It looked like a nasty one.
Again, she is just clutching at her ankle, checking it out. Perhaps we can see her later in the game, and Jimmy Soufas is consulting her now, so we'll get back to the game now.
Richardson trying to work it for Pollicina, took a touch off Mergianos, Miller Best in the way to make the block as well. Malloy, Pollicina stayed highest, Phoenix might have room to roam. They are against 4, so they're a player up momentarily as Frascalzo comes to get some treatment. We hope she has just rolled her ankle, and it's nothing more serious than that. We'll keep you updated. Pollicina got away from Best and rattled it wide. Pollicina certainly won't be deterred by any early injuries. Her return to Fitzroy, a big part of why they've had an upturn in form. And here she is again, Emma Olsen with a super save. As Pollicina looked to place it into the bottom corner. McClure with a tidy read. Shifted it away from Malloy, and Olsen this time able to gather it. Moved it on for Mergianos quickly. All of a sudden, Phoenix 2-on-1. Mergianos away from Richardson. Moved it on for Perrone, who again couldn't work the angle. Best to drill one off the post. Mason Jones was rooted to the spot as Best's effort was belted goalward. McClure gets it from a tidy Richardson read. Tried the return, but it'll trickle into touch.
And Fitzroy persevering with just 3 on-court players, excluding the goalkeeper, with their star player down now. They're checking her out. I know Dharma Georgie is listed, and potentially Alicia Rowan might come later in the game, so they'll need those reinforcements.
Malloy. Wide for Miller Best. Malloy once again. This time speared it on the switch for Perrone, who got away from Richardson. Phoenix exercising patience. Possession trying to pierce their way through an incredibly rigid and well-drilled Fitzroy defence. Best wanted to place one across for Perrone, who didn't time the run to the back stick. We've got 2 more additions to the Phoenix coaching staff tonight than in recent weeks. Benjamin Cullen and Moe Fatea, both back on the bench. Tyler Lewis, I'm sure, is delighted to have 2 other members of his band back on. Mergianos with a tidy ball, and Perrone couldn't turn it in.
And again, Fitzroy holding on for dear life with 3 players. Though you have to look at the players that are on. Pollicina, Richardson, McClure. Quality on the court, and those 3 alone are possibly the best 3 on the court right now.
There is Pollicina around Mergianos. Moved it on to Richardson, who rolled away inside. Olsen made another terrific save as Richardson wanted to rattle it into the bottom corner. Malloy's giving it to Pollicina, who's crashed the post. Emma Olsen unhappy with her defence. In fact, it's gone in. In fact, a goal has been given.
Are you serious?
It must have hit the back part of the stanchion. Pollicina We owe our apologies to. She smashed it into the net, and Fitzroy, a player down, are in front.
Rihanna Policina just said to herself, you know, I've got 4 players in front of me. Who cares? I'm going to smash it home. And absolutely fantastic. It just shows the quality of the mighty Fitzroy Tigers.
Marvellous ball from Malloy. Best tried to beat Mason Jones, who got down to make a save. Frescalzo's testing that ankle out still. Here's McClure. On for Policina, who placed that so perfectly. Some of us inside Darabin didn't actually think it went in. She shifted away from Perrone. McClure on the switch. Richardson with a tidy touch to make away from Mergianos. Now confronted by Best. Richardson wanting to blaze beyond her. Into Policina instead on the turn. Mergianos with an important block. Policina for McClure. Olsen on the save. Malloy just hooking it away from danger.
Worried signs at the Darabin Community Sports Centre, particularly if you're a Northern Phoenix fan. Fitzroy running wired with just 3 players and looking like the better team by far.
And here is Richardson charging her way through. McClure, this time not beyond Malloy. And Claudia Frescalzo is getting some extensive tape applied to that ankle in the hope that she can continue. For Jimmy Soufis' side, Tyler Lewis is meandering over to possibly issue a timeout early for Phoenix. Malloy for Mergianos. He has handed that card in now. Sanabal Mergianos charges forward. Perrone back for Malloy. Out the other way for Miller Best. Can Phoenix get themselves level? But they've given it away. Policina's on the charge up with McClure. McClure's gone around Miller Best, and the stab rather tame for Olsen. And now they can go the other way. Mergianos has Perrone up with her. Phoenix 2-on-1. Perrone out of her feet. And has smashed it wide of the side netting.
And there's obviously a double meaning in that timeout. I'm sure there's a little bit of generosity there to allow Claudia Frescalzo to have the chance to recover a little bit more, but at the same time, something needs to change with this team. If you're up 1 player against your opponent and you're not dominating, something is seriously wrong.
Well, we're about to see what Phoenix will do with that timeout. Tyler Lewis issued it, and at the first time of being able to take it, they will. Policina, with a perfectly placed finish, is the difference maker at the moment. It's Fitzroy 1, Northern Phoenix 0.
Group is the key of success. If you don't have a union group, you can win some matches, you can win some tournaments, but finally you don't win the World Cup or you don't win the European Championship. You need a strong group and everybody go in the same direction. The futsal is totally different than in Europe or in other countries. I think there are good levels here in Australia. There are good players, so they have to work hard. And maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
We return from timeout. Phoenix called it. Maybe a couple of changes to be made. Claudia Frescalzo is back out on court. You can imagine will be Fitzroy's target throughout the night. And we'll just be testing that ankle as it goes on. It's moving a fraction gingerly, but that all being said, it's good to see her out there, and it is good that it doesn't really seem like anything serious. But Malloy's on the march. Beautiful ball. What a wonderful save from Mason Jones. Phoenix carved an opening. But Fitzroy's number 1 was in the way to make a very, very important save. Miller Best from the side ball. Frescalzo back in defensive support. Martello on for Malloy. Couldn't re-find Best.
And again, there was a lack of communication there from the 2 players. Obviously wanted to make that pass on target. Couldn't quite get on there fast enough. And now Fitzroy will regain it, starting with Policina.
Policina, that's a piercing ball to find Frescalzo, who again just has to be cautious and quite careful. She is not moving as freely as she would like to. Claudia Frescalzo, who is going to push through for Jimmy Soufis' side. So You cannot fault her courage, you cannot fault her bravery. And we hope that nothing untoward happens again to that ankle, because that might spell the end of her night, and we'd hope that not to be the case. We don't want it to be a more aggravated or worse injury. There's Mason Jones over the top for Richardson, who might win a foot race against Malloy, and play it off her to win Fitzroy a corner. It's a rapid Richardson run down that left flank. And although Malloy was on pole position, Richardson had an overtake. Polissina for Friscalzo. Couldn't quite apply the flick to turn it goalwards. Olsen. Chris Malloy down the line for Martello. Richardson impeded her a bit too overzealously. Gives away a free kick. Malloy on the switch for Miller Best, who had Friscalzo and Polissina to try and shut the door on the press. That's a good read from McClure, who's cut it out. Played it into Polissina. Friscalzo on for Richardson. Down the line for McClure. He's waiting on the runners. Friscalzo now just dropping deepest to, one, preserve that ankle, but also help Fitzroy dictate play. McClure with a lovely dashing run, and Emma Olsen off her line quickly to dive in and make the save. As Polissina has a bit of wrist wear to remove. Fitzroy's number 10 is de-accessorised and is found by McClure from the corner. Into Friscalzo, who's wanting to turn, tried to fire it through the legs of Best. Perrone is all on her own up there, and Perrone is in. Mason Jones came and got there to make a marvellous save. McClure on the follow-up, found Friscalzo waiting on the runners. Richardson was one, and in the end, recycles things, calms it all down with Polissina. Clipped it over Perrone for McClure, but Martello in to make the challenge and win it back for Phoenix. Malloy. Quickly back for Martello. Here's Duplessis. Down the line for Perrone, who's trying to ensure Phoenix apply a bit of pressure. Martello, Duplessis was roaming. Richardson cut it out. And then found Friscalzo, who did terrifically to hold that space. Malloy is at her back. Friscalzo, Polissina tried to place it back to her. Martello with a tidy challenge. Happy to clear her lines. Polissina's side ball. McClure to drill one. Olsen had to get a palm on it and pushed it away at the expense of a corner. Phoenix just not closing the angle down and allowing Fitzroy another set play. Polissina, Richardson to lace one, just over.
And Ethan, talking about palms, where you come from, do they call it a palmer or a palmy?
We've reached that stage of the evening, I suppose.
I think the audience wants to know the truth.
I don't quite know if we have them in the southwest of England. Didn't make their way down there. All the way out in the countryside.
Well, you're in a much better spot now, I suppose. The great city of Melbourne, where the best futsal is played, and that is series futsal. Polissina on the ball, tries to thread the needle. McClure picks it up. Friscalzo, the back heel, distributes wide.
Richardson tried to drill it across. Unbelievable. The disrespect shown to South Wiltshire. Polissina on the turn. Couldn't place it into the far corner.
And you know how deadly she is from that range. Only needs to drop the shoulder and get a split second of a chance. That time, very lucky.
It's Goscombe. Tyler Lewis shuffling the pack, really, for the first time tonight. Mergianos fizzed it into Martello. That's a tidy touch. Goscombe with a great ball for Duplessis. He tried to flick it back on for Martello. Aisha Duplessis.
Finally got the name correct, Ethan.
All you need is one take sometimes. Richardson. On for McClure. Can Fitzroy add another? Now they've been reinstated to the full five. Richardson once again. Martello just wanting to shut the door. McClure in ahead of Goscombe and is working an angle. Left it for Richardson, who rolled it back to her. Mergianos in with a challenge, and Annabelle Mergianos did well to keep it in and not concede a corner. Fitzroy side ball. McClure's take. Richardson, a wrap one across. First Calzo, brilliant goal. What a terrific touch. Claudia Friscalzo with finesse on one leg has turned in Fitzroy's second.
And she does that so well. And even on 1 foot, a tender foot after an injury, she's still so deadly. Finds a way to manoeuvre the ball into the back of the net, not even looking.
An ever so deft finish from Fitzroy's futsal route. It's Martello. Duplessis made it work, but wasn't able to take a touch that was light enough to play her in. Policina. McClure. As we've mentioned, Fitzroy only have 5 tonight, so that's why momentarily their hearts would have been in their mouths. Martello with a great read. Martello went early and was not a million miles away from getting Phoenix back into this game.
It's a risky shot, really, from that deep. You have to be pinpoint, target, accurate, and she wasn't.
And Jimmy Soufas will call timeout. As a result, Fitzroy Gaffer likes to use them late in the half, but his side have added their second. They've got some breathing room. It's Fitzroy 2, Phoenix 0.
สำหรับผมในกีฬาฟุตซอลครับ2 อย่างที่ต้องมีครับในตัวนักกีฬาฟุตซอลครับก็ระเบียบวินัยแล้วก็ความมุ่งมั่นครับมี2 อย่างนี้ก็ทำให้คุณอาจจะประสบความสำเร็จได้ครับ
ก็ฟุตซอลเป็นเหมือนชีวิตผมครับเพราะว่าผมทำมันมาตั้งแต่เด็กแล้วก็คิดว่ามันน่าจะเป็นส่วนหนึ่งในชีวิตของผมเลยครับ
ผมเสียสละในกีฬานี้ก็ในเรื่องของเวลาครับเพราะว่าเราต้องทิ้งทุกอย่างไปข้างหลังครับแล้วก็คอนเซนเทรตแล้วก็มีความมุ่งมั่นกับกีฬานี้เพื่อที่จะพัฒนาตัวเองแล้วก็
We return from timeout. This time Fitzroy's turn to issue a stoppage in play, and Policina is getting things back underway inside the final 10 minutes. Rather early timeout issued by Jimmy Soufas, usually saves it for the final 120 seconds. Nevertheless, they have a corner. Richardson to take. Goscombe with a tidy read and a beauty of a ball. Waited well for Duplessis, but Policina in retreat, got in the way and just about kept it in. In fact, conceded possession in the end.
You have to be at awe with the way Policina moves on the court. She's so fast in comparison to her opponents, and her dribbling ability is unmatched. And that's the type of quality you get when these WA League players come through. They're fantastic.
Duplessis' corner. Couldn't quite make its way out to Martello. That was an opportunity for Northern Phoenix from a set play, having actually worked it so well. Meg Goscombe's ball was delightful for Duplessis, who put Policina under enough pressure. Nothing came from it. Richardson at the other end wins a corner for Fitzroy.
And this is where Fitzroy can be so dangerous from the set piece. They've practiced it, trained it, time in, time again, and they'll go for one now, this time intercepted by Goscombe.
Goscombe's done well, got around Friscalzo, had runners with her. Martello was one. The 1-2 wasn't the one she wanted. She also had Duplessis running as well. Richardson. McClure. Mergianos with a tidy read. Tried to shift it beyond Richardson. Got it through the legs, but invited Richardson to win it. Now Policina with room to roam. Friscalzo was lurking. Olsen spilling and then gathering at the second attempt. Quick roll for Mergianos and a tidy 1-2. Policina's challenge. Martello gave it away to Richardson, who can go on a drive herself. Policina one way, Friscalzo the other. Got it through to Friscalzo. Mergianos did ever so well not to turn that into her own net. That was a terrific readjustment right in the nick of time.
And again, Fitzroy just pressing. They're going to get their third in a matter of minutes. It's almost certain. That's just the way they're playing. They're absolutely dominant. And Northern Phoenix right now look like they need more training.
Mergianos. A bit too deep for Duplessis. Richardson quickly on. Polissina. This time around Duplessis. Polissina on a run. Frascalzo. Olsen with a super save. Martello can now lead the charge. Duplessis, who was doing the defensive work at one end, is now pouring forward at the other. Aisha Duplessis. Mason Jones makes a smart save.
You won't beat her that easily. You really have to put the ball in a position, perhaps near post, right under the arm, so it's unsavable because she is such a top goalkeeper.
Goscombe's corner. Mergianos wanted the 1-2. Richardson read that rather well. Phoenix will reset from a side ball. Goscombe's take. Mergianos. Once again, they look to go down that left flank. Frascalzo is just lurking off the shoulder. Martello has got some room and has found a way in. It's gone through the palm of Mason Jones, and Phoenix have half the deficit. Martello, who hit one from distance unsuccessfully earlier, has now turned one in as it was too hot to handle for the Fitzroy shot stopper.
Commentators curse there as well. It just slips through the hands of Beth Mathan-Jones. And again, it's just one of those unfortunate circumstances. It won't happen twice.
Polissina, Frascalzo, tidy block from Mergianos. Good anticipation from Olsen to prevent the corner. Refines her skipper. Into Perrone. Richardson at her back, away from Polissina too. Now Miller Best couldn't get around McClure. Did well to keep it. Mergianos, that's an inviting ball for Perrone. Richardson wants to hustle it out. And Perrone pressed that a little bit too over eagerly. Polissina. Tried to find Frascalzo. Mergianos with a nice read. Through Polissina's legs to Perrone. Tried to shift it around, but was held up once again.
Northern Phoenix now getting that first goal. They might just be able to salvage something from this game.
Mergianos tried the switch for Perrone. Polissina one in. Went all the way back for Richardson. Perrone again hot on the press. Richardson around her and around Miller Best. Richardson might.
Oh, she's done it again!
Once again, another superb Richardson run and another Frascalzo finish with the utmost finesse.
And Frascalzo will be very happy with herself, chasing the golden boot at the same time. This is the final match day, 2 on the night. Can she get more?
With lurking just so deep in Phoenix territory, the opportunities might just present themselves. Malloy is giving that away to Polissina. She's trying to get around Perrone. Instead, goes back for Richardson, who's on another marauding run. Has wriggled away from Perrone rather well. Forced to spin back, sets it up for McClure. Richardson. Mergianos got enough of a touch on it to concede a corner, but it was making way for Polissina. Frascalzo for a hat-trick, she's got it! Corner taken quickly, and Claudia Frascalzo has turned in a first half hat-trick on one ankle. Unbelievable.
3 more. Jimmy Sufa said 2 more. 2 more. And that'll get her the golden boot, depending on the results of the next game. Isn't she just a lethal poacher of excellent proportion?
Just terrific. Absolutely terrific, and she might be on for one more. Polissina's on the march. Frascalzo again, around Olsen, glorious. Absolutely glorious, and she's within 1.
It's honestly making it look too easy. I think you're going to have to use all your players and just mark Frascalzo, let the others play, because this is getting embarrassing.
Fantastic goal. Polissina's picked it off again. Frascalzo's all on her own, you know. They're going it to her.
Oh my goodness.
Unbelievable. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. How good is she? What a terrific turn-in.
Ethan, how many times? She's done it 4 times in a row. There's no more words. I have no more words in the dictionary to describe this.
I don't think enough superlatives suffice.
She's got 1 foot.
Just when you thought a hat-trick was an achievement in itself, she's got a hat-trick in a minute. And is currently your golden boot race leader.
This is why she's a Futsal. This is why she was selected for the inaugural squad. She is just another level.
Perrone had it placed to her. Polissina tried to pick it off, not around Richardson. And now Polissina has got Malloy to beat. Chris Malloy held her up well. Richardson down the line for McClure. Duplessis got an all-important touch, and Fitzroy will have a corner.
And again, McClure might look for Friscalzo to come into the centre and tap an easy one home.
Polissina, and there is Friscalzo, who's on the roll again. Olsen this time closed down the angle and made a very tidy save.
And arriving late, just on the cusp of half-time, Alicia Rowan making her way to the bench.
Emma Olsen is most displeased about the room that Friscalzo is being afforded centrally. And given the way that this first half has transpired, it's hard to disagree with her, to be perfectly honest.
Absolutely. When you get so many easy chances as a goalkeeper now, you're thinking to yourself, what more can I do? Really, how much do I have to work?
That effort from Richardson. Rolled wide. Olsen wanting movement. Mila Best obliging her with it. McClure on the press. Malloy tried to make it out for Duplessis. Richardson across in retreat. Heads it into touch. Final 2 minutes of the first half, one in which Fitzroy have been simply fantastic. Friscalzo herself has been a force of nature.
At this point, it's Northern Phoenix versus Friscalzo, and Friscalzo has won.
Perrone, Duplessis took a tumble and Perrone flashed it across the face. Nearly a moment for Phoenix to claw one back.
And there's just 50 seconds left in this first half. It's been amazing, it's been fantastic, and Fitzroy have been anything. It's been
Polissina.
perfect, yeah.
Polissina picked it up from Richardson. Tried to place it in the top corner, as she did for the first goal of the night. Olsen speared it on for Perrone. Polissina in to make the challenge. Best. Perrone has got around Richardson very nicely. Perrone tracked a shot when it came on. Mason Jones from distance. Emma Olsen happy to watch it roll out, and that will be that for half-time. Claudia Friscalzo, who hurt her ankle in the first minute. We did not know how much more she would feature tonight, but she has 5 at half-time, and 5 of the best at that. Fitzroy have been imperious. Phoenix did claw one back, but at the moment, the Tigers number 13 leads the Golden Boot race. Half-time, it's Fitzroy 6, Phoenix 1.
ไปสู่ความสำเร็จครับ
สำหรับต้องมีความมุ่งมั่นแล้วก็ความอดทนแล้วก็ความพยายามครับผมถึงจะถึงประสบความสำเร็จได้ครับ
พวกเราไม่เคยหยุดไล่ล่า พวกเรามาที่นี่เพื่อพิชิต พวกเราหยุดไม่ได้
A good futsal player has to be intelligent. It's the most important quality in a futsal player, because in futsal play is very fast, and you have to think really fast. You don't have time, you don't have space. They have to enjoy the game. This finally futsal or football or basketball or tennis, it's only a game, so they have to enjoy. If they don't enjoy the game, they don't improve. No, they know that we know as coaches that every day is good for improving your level. So you have to work hard every day. It's detail. It's important for improve your career. The group is the key of success. If you don't have a union group, you can win some matches, you can win some tournaments, but finally you don't win the World Cup or you don't win the European Championship. You need a strong group and everybody go in the same direction. The futsal is totally different than in Europe or in other countries. I think there are good levels here in Australia. There are good players, so they have to work hard. And maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
We return for the second half in tonight's second game. Fitzroy were imperious in the first period. Frescalzo has 5 of the 6 that they scored. Phoenix have 1 in reply. Having been momentarily against 4, Rowan arrived just before half-time, and they've decided to put Frescalzo on ice. A rather smart decision, Josh.
Absolutely. What more can she do? I think she's won the game by herself, literally, with 5 goals. So, fantastic from Frescalzo, and that's why she's a futsal.
Millibest battling with McClure, 1 in well. Mergianos also around McClure. Cycled it back for Malloy. Rowan was hot on the press and made sure Malloy's ball was loose. Richardson, now here is Rowan. Down the line for Policina. Best just wanting to press. Richardson. Waiting on the runners. Fitzroy exercising patience and possession. Can hear the Phoenix bench, Moe Fatea being the more vocal of them at the moment, about just holding that shape, holding the centre of court, and this is why Fitzroy could not play their way around, and Phoenix will win it back.
Oh.
And Tyler Lewis is in the book.
He wants the cheese, he's got the cheese. Wonder what he said.
Phoenix Scaffer, always animated, Tyler. Maybe too animated on that occasion. Policina, as Goscombe took a tumble. Had McClure and Rowan up with her. Policina waited on Richardson. Chose Mason Jones, who's arriving. Richardson once again. Down the line for Rowan. Gave it away to Mergianos, who did well to read that. Best. Malloy, beauty of a ball. Mergianos, loose touch. Policina drills it in. Under Emma Olsen, who could do very little about it.
Again, Ethan, once the dam breaks, the water floods through. And that's another for Fitzroy. And it is 7-1. Policina, I'm telling you right now, will go off this half.
Goscombe to restart things for Phoenix, who, it is safe to say, have been given a rather tough proposition on the final day of the season. One which, it's been a very up and down one for this Phoenix side. That's a lovely ball to find Goscombe. Policina with a well-timed challenge and has got room to go. Richardson up with her. Policina fancies a hat-trick of her own and has rolled it just wide. Goscombe making way. I think there might be something wrong with Meg Goscombe as well. She's not feeling too good. It's been a night of really bad luck for a lot of players. We had Frescalzo on one ankle, we had a chipped tooth in the heart game, and now we've got Goscombe, who's feeling a bit under the weather as well.
Absolutely, and this, look, it's the final day of the season. You don't want your players to really be risked too much. They have another season starting in 2 weeks, so they need to be fit and ready.
That's right, quick turnarounds in the world of series futsal. Only a fortnight between season 1 and 2 of 2025. Season 2, a fraction shorter than the first, as we've mentioned, a 14-rounder. Policina, away from Malloy. Richardson rattled it to Rowan. That's a lovely first touch. And Emma Olsen with an equally lovely save.
Fitzroy will have a corner taken by Polisina. The long shot there from Richardson not going to go, but Polisina distributes again. They might start with something again. Olsen forced the dolphin dive, couldn't get it.
Thankfully for Olsen, it was wide of the post. Richardson's effort caught sweet, but didn't have enough whip to work its way into the bottom corner. Miller Best down the line for Perrone. Richardson at her back. Rowan wanting to cut the outball. Martello did well to make room on the switch there. Rowan and McClure wanting to cut her run short. Malloy tried to go loftily towards Best, and instead finds touch. Polisina moved it on for Richardson. Into McClure. Lovely challenge from Martello, who, safe to say, has had a very, very tidy performance tonight. Polisina. Rowan. That's a beauty of a ball. Polisina! Emma Olsen with another good save.
That one right in front. Polisina would have fancied her chances. And in those times, you have to really give credit to the goalkeeper. She did phenomenal against a player of Polisina's calibre.
Polisina's corner all the way out for Richardson. That one, a much more comfy one for Olsen. And Martello has made a breaking run. Had Miller Best up with her, but it was just a fraction behind her. And a touch took her out of play. As I was mentioning before, Josh, it's been an up and down season for Northern Phoenix, but given they won 3 games in a row not too long ago, they've had a relatively positive end to the season. Take tonight out of the equation. Is there a lot of positivity and a lot to build on for next season?
Well, you'd want to hope so. And again, Tyler has a great group of players. He just needs to make it work. They need to train, and they need to look like a team. Sometimes they don't play like they know each other.
Well, Tyler Lewis will call time out. Phoenix have a set piece when we return. And Fitzroy have strengthened their grip on this game. They lead 7-1.
สำหรับผมในกีฬาฟุตซอลครับ2 อย่างที่ต้องมีครับในตัวนักกีฬาฟุตซอลครับก็ระเบียบวินัยแล้วก็ความมุ่งมั่นครับมี 2 อย่างนี้ก็ทำให้คุณอาจจะประสบความสำเร็จได้ครับ
ก็ฟุตซอลเป็นเหมือนชีวิตผมครับเพราะว่าผมทำมันมาตั้งแต่เด็กแล้วก็คิดว่ามันน่าจะเป็นส่วนหนึ่งในชีวิตของผมเลยครับ
ผมเสียสละในกีฬานี้ก็ในเรื่องของเวลาครับเพราะว่าเรา
We return from timeout. Phoenix with a set piece. And I'm going to mention the throwaway line that they've made a knack of scoring from a set play post the timeout in recent weeks. Can they add to it? Malloy, Martello's dummy. McClure with a good read. Malloy, who took it, was all the way back into retreat. That's a beauty of a ball for Miller Best, who's got Perrone on the overlap. Oh! Best might go alone. That's a wonderful save from Mason Jones.
And very wonderful from Miller Best, that fake, dazzling the defender.
Miller Best's drop of the shoulder was brilliant. And now she has to be de-jeweled.
Ooh.
Remarkable. An absolutely remarkable passage. Duplessis will come on momentarily. Perrone rattled that off McClure. Mason Jones did well not to give away the corner. Rowan. Polisina, Martello on the press did well. Polisina worked it wide. McClure, Richardson, Polisina. Fitzroy wanting to march their way through this Phoenix press once again. Duplessis did well to slow up Rowan. It allowed Perrone to come in. and make the smart challenge. Fitzroy side ball. At the moment, they will confirm a second place finish this season. Considering Western United had a bit of a buffer to them at one stage and Fitzroy were in third, it's been a very, very good recovery from Jamie Soufis' side.
Absolutely, and it's just a testament to his ability to grab players at the end of the season, create that strong squad. Policina, the addition who really changed everything for Fitzroy. She's the engine.
Policina on that occasion just rattling one wide of Emma Olsen's post. Malloy, Duplessis down the line for Perrone. Duplessis wanted a return. Richardson with a strong challenge. Here is Malloy. Martello made a darting run. Malloy with height. They might work out. Martello's volley was taken well on the turn. Van Basten-esque. Had a little swivel. Unfortunately, couldn't strike it into the net from a Phoenix point of view.
And sensational to even have the body positioned in the correct way to connect with the ball.
Richardson. Policino, lovely 1-2. Richardson around Duplessis. And then giving it away to Malloy, who's got 3 on the break. Duplessis up with her. Malloy goes alone. Mason Jones gleefully accepting. Policina has stayed out, all on her own. Around Olsen, who took her down.
That's a penalty.
It will be a penalty. And it will be a yellow card for the Northern Phoenix shot stopper.
And Policina is down, and I'm hoping that she is okay. She's clutching at the elbow. Fruscalzo might have to make her way back onto the court.
She's getting ready, Claudia Fruscalzo. She's asking Policina if she fancies a sit down. I'm sure Policina would rather take this set piece instead. Olsen in the book. Policina's set play. Be Policina's strike. And Olsen did very well. The turquoise wall behind her not needed. Fitzroy corner quickly for Richardson. Olsen with another fine save and another fine gather at the second attempt. Looked long for Mergianos. Richardson won it out. Duplessis did well on the press. And on, I would say, the second contact, fouled Richardson.
And Fitzroy will have a chance now to rebuild and perhaps make it 8. Richardson finds McClure. And again, Fitzroy loving to move that ball around. Malloy intercepts and she'll go alone. She's by herself. It's just Beth Mason-Jones. And it's a save.
Mason-Jones did magnificently again to close the angle for Malloy. And just count on her not going round. McClure. Down the line for Rowan. Duplessis holding her up, and Rowan ran out of room as a result. Phoenix side ball. They did relatively well at halting that Fitzroy foray forward. Mergianos tried to be tidy for best, too tidy, and found touch instead. Policina. Back from McClure. Richardson tried to roll it round the corner. Best from Malloy. Had 3 around her. Miller Best was absolutely swarmed. And Richardson is the recipient of that pressure. Policina into McClure. Out the other way for Rowan, who tried with loft to place it for Policina. Best cut it out. And then lost out, but kept it for Phoenix.
And Ethan, you've been around long enough now. When you're watching futsal, in your opinion, what is the best post-match futsal meal?
What a question. What a question that is. I know the media team, we've had a couple of evenings in Northcote at Tempo, which have been quite good.
Shout out to Tempo.
I would say that's probably been top of the list for me.
A good pizza.
Policina on for Richardson, tried to roll it For McClure at the back post, Olsen came to gather it, then rolled it to Best, who was under pressure immediately. Too much pressure from Polissina, who fouled her. Phoenix free kick. Best. Just waiting on her runners, exercising some patience. Malloy with height. Richardson with a tidy read and a deft touch. Martello in on the press, did well not to foul her. Richardson just waiting on her options and instead turned it into touch. Martello did very well there, just to stop the advance. Best side ball. Leaves it for Malloy, tried to fizz it for Mergianos. Malloy just kept on going, it nearly broke for Mergianos. Richardson for McClure, Polissina down the line, Martello with a good challenge.
And that one cleared away from Martello expertly. Fitzroy, they're just so conditioned to know where to move and how to pass that it's so natural. Anything they do, it pays off.
Polissina still just grasping that elbow ever so slightly. Ball may not be right. Martello read that ball rather well, got it through the legs of Rowan to find Miller Best. McClure made a good challenge. Both of these teams, we mentioned they've had incredibly different seasons. What do they need to look ahead to in Phoenix's place to try and crack the top four, for Fitzroy to go and really challenge Aku and take them all the way to the wire in the title race?
I'll answer that question in two parts. Firstly, for Northern Phoenix, what needs to happen is they need to play together more. They need to train and they need to be with each other for a longer period of time. It's still a young team, and it's clear their tactics are not working. Whatever is happening on the court, behind the scenes, it is just not manifesting into victory nor beautiful play. And for Fitzroy to really catch Melbourne Aku, I actually think it's very close between the two. So I think they need to just bring in a couple players to have the depth next season, because we're going to full stop clock, and playing 5 players on a night like that is not going to work.
It's Miller Best. On for Malloy. Thought about Mergianos, went for Martello. Richardson read that and won it back and was pulled back. Fitzroy free kick.
And I just want to reiterate, I do think Fitzroy are on equal playing terms with Aku. And next season, we'll really show that in our 14-round rendition of Women's Series Futsal 2025.2. Stay tuned. It's going to be a massive, massive froth fest.
Certainly will, but we're not quite done with the final day of the current one. Olsen, Mergianos, Malloy. On for Martello, not around Richardson, who won it back. Polissina one way, Richardson went around Martello instead. Richardson might go alone, that's a brilliant goal. Terrifically hit, and Richardson has rattled it into the bottom corner.
And you just explained it so perfectly. She takes it upon herself, strides through the defense so casually, and then bang, bottom corner. Fantastic finish, effortless. 8-1. Oh, and
ต้องทีมทุกอย่างไปข้างหลังครับแล้วก็คอนเซนเทรตแล้วก็มีความมุ่งมั่นกับกีฬา
let's go, just having some technical.
นี้เพื่อที่จะพัฒนาตัวเองแล้วก็ไปสู่ความสำเร็จครับ
Ina's one in and is driving centrally. Polissina stings the palms of Olsen, who then gathers it. Emma Olsen is feeling some frustration at the movement from the Phoenix side in transition. Jimmy Sufus just mulling over a timeout on the opposite touchline. Him and Tyler Lewis having a conversation with one another. Two former Fitzroy teammates, if I'm right, Josh.
that's correct.
Polissina for McClure. Worked it back for Polissina. That's a tidy touch around the corner for Rowan, whose return was a fraction heavy. Perrone, Malloy nearly placed it perfectly back for Perrone, but Mason Jones mopped it up. Polissina's now on the charge, away from Best, away from Martello, and Olsen in the way to make a terrific stop. And that's not a bad ball from Best either. Perrone's got 3 around her. Richardson in retreat, came to help out Rowan. And it'll be Mason Jones's at the end of the day.
And I just want to provide some praise for Emma Olsen in this game. She has been at quite a high level, and unfortunately the amount of shots she has carved, it's inevitable that some of those will slip through, but really good performance overall.
Good press from Phoenix. Duplessis one in. Oh. That's a beauty of a ball. Miller best. Mason Jones with another great save. The press was perfect from the two furthest forward for Phoenix. Aisha Duplessis nearly benefited. Rolled it to best beautifully. And Mason Jones got it all right. That's great goalkeeping.
What a fantastic ball that was, to even to have the vision, not to look at where you're trying to pass it and still finds the open gap. That's the telling of a quality player.
Best side ball. On the line for Malloy. Cut out by Richardson, who got a quick 1-2 from Pollicina. It's just effortlessly held up by Richardson. This time getting it back from McClure. Looking for Pollicina. Duplessis did well to cut it out and then had a stumble. Rowan has picked that one up as a result. Perrone on hand to make the block. Stabbed it down the line for Duplessis, back on her feet. Richardson in with the challenge. And it had gone out of play.
And Ethan, I just want to ask you a question here. Now you're watching this game, you're seeing Northern Phoenix and how they're performing. Do you think if they come into next season in the same manner, where do you think they could possibly go?
I think this result is not necessarily a fair reflection of Northern Phoenix. They face a good Fitzroy team in terrific form, who have really started to gel in the second half of the season. But at the same time, there's a lot of talent in this Phoenix side. You mentioned Emma Olsen, who's a top shot stopper. Miller Best and Malloy, both also possess a great deal of ability. I think Phoenix should be striving for a top 4 finish next season. I think it's on the cards if they get the right pieces together. But it is all about how that league stacks up and how it comes together for this side. Perrone's side ball. That's a beautiful pick out for Malloy, whose touch was heavy, but then recovered it from Pollicina. Shifted away from Rowan too. Refound Perrone, who was placed out of it by Pollicina, who's now got a wall of turquoise around her. Rowan was arriving. Richardson too. Went back for McClure instead. Perrone trying to press her. McClure having a slip. Perrone's pressure was good enough. Miller Best. Malloy wanted it. Malloy gets it. Duplessis dropped in. That's a lovely timed run. And a well-timed challenge too from McClure. Pollicina has picked Best pocket. And is trying to twist and turn her way. Pollicina still going. Big block from Best. Rolled it out for Richardson, who might have a go. Why not? And Emma Olsen with a good save.
Jimmy Sufas running to call the timeout. He'll get the next one.
He's been mulling over it for some time. We wondered when it would come. And Jimmy Sufas has shown his hand. Timeout for Fitzroy, who lead Northern Phoenix 8-1.
สำหรับต้องมีความมุ่งมั่นแล้วก็ความอดทนแล้วก็ความพยายามครับผมถึงจะถึงประสบความสำเร็จได้ครับ
พวกเราไม่เคยหยุดไล่ล่า พวกเรามาที่นี่เพื่อพิชิต พวกเราหยุดไม่ได้
We return from timeout. Fitzroy with a set piece. Pollicina's corner. McClure couldn't clip it into a dangerous position. And well, we've got a very interesting update on a night like this. The last day of the season throws up a bit of fun. It's been a rather beautiful dog on the Fitzroy bench throughout tonight.
Fantastic specimen.
And it's just been told, and they've just been told that it can't sit with them anymore, which is rather saddening. McClure's on the march, however. And Emma Olsen got a palm to concede a corner.
Some rules are cruel to enforce. You know, I think I'm all for animal rights, and that dog should have remained on the bench in a perfect world. But alas, it's not a perfect world.
Polysina's corner. Taken quickly, Rowan. Got beyond Best, recycled it for McClure. He's trying to work a yard, fizzed it into the feet of Polysina, who took it down. Richardson to stab one, Duplessis on the block. Mason Jones fancies a drive. 2.5 minutes to go. Olsen on for Miller Best. Moe Fatea maybe just ordering up one final round of changes for Phoenix. Malloy tried to whip one round the corner again, but McClure did well to cut it out. Olsen goes with more height, finds Best this time. Malloy has got beyond all three of them. Her and Perrone sorted it out. They have an open net. Perrone has turned it in, and Phoenix will take one for the road. Emma Perrone stayed with it to the last. But much has to be said about Malloy's driving run. It was determined, it was devilish, and it was delightful.
Absolutely right, and it has now led to a game. 6 goals the difference.
Polysina. Rowan. On for McClure. That's a lovely touch from Richardson. Kept it alive for Polysina. He's trying to make the most of it with Malloy at her back. Recycles it all the way home. Mason Jones steps beyond half court. Fitzroy with a temporary fifth. Lovely ball too. McClure to drill one across. And she wasn't far away.
Emma Olsen to restart for Northern Phoenix, and maybe they can continue on in form after that first goal. Malloy now to switch to Best. Might look down the line for something special. Needs to restart with Malloy.
Best once again. Could they take another for the road, or are Fitzroy going to do that? Rowan with options left and right. That's a brilliant save. Emma Olsen flung herself across and pushed it wide for a corner. Terrific stop. Had to read it late as Rowan was bearing down. Polysina to drill one. That's equally as good. Great goalkeeping from Olsen to deny Fitzroy not once but twice. They have another corner. Polysina on pole position again. Olsen with another tidy palm, and this time's able to pick it up. As has looked long marvellously. Magianos early has turned it wide.
All the makings of a wonder goal. A perfectly pinpoint throw. Mergianos looks up, slices the ball, and it's just inches from the post.
Richardson again on the switch for Polysina. Shifted away from Mergianos. Polysina will want to end the season maybe with another goal for herself. Hat-trick hunting, of course. And here she is, trying to get away from Mergianos, who's hot on the press. Rolled it on for Richardson, who got in ahead of Perrone. Rowan with a lovely return. Richardson to drill one. Has rattled it just wide.
35 seconds remaining in this beautiful encounter before we head to what possibly will be the best game of the night. Western United taking on Melbourne Aku to close out 2025.1, and Chloe Martello, an absolute wonder goal.
Her second of the night is a marvellous finish. Martello has smashed that into the roof of the net. A superb goal. As Phoenix take one more with them. That's a great finish.
Absolutely fantastic. The way she looks up and with intent blasts it into the top corner.
Wrapped her foot around it. Got the right height. Got really good pace as well to beat Mason Jones. Perhaps a great goal to end Phoenix's season, or do they want one more? Miller Best is trying to turn away from Richardson and has lost out Polysina. Not in ahead of Malloy. Does she fancy one on her own? Mergianos tried to return it to her. Martello's hunting a hat-trick. Malloy tried to turn it goalward. Mason Jones has picked it up. And that will be that. Fitzroy will finish second. But Phoenix gave it a spirited go in the final 5 minutes. The Tigers, of course, unable to catch Aku, but will finish as the best of the rest in season 1 of 2025. The end of a super second half of the season for Jimmy Soufis' side. Tyler Lewis's team picked up momentum towards the end of the season as well. They will finish in 6th, but full time, it's Fitzroy 8, Northern Phoenix 3.
A good futsal player has to be intelligent. It's the most important quality in a futsal player because in futsal play is very fast, and you have to think really fast. You don't have time, you don't have space. They have to enjoy the game. This finally futsal or football or basketball or tennis, it's only a game, so they have to enjoy. If they don't enjoy the game, they don't improve. No, they know that we know as coaches that every day is good for improving your level, so you have to work hard every day. It's detail, it's important for improve your career. The group is the key of success. If you don't have a union group, you can win some matches, you can win some tournaments, but finally you don't win the World Cup or you don't win the European Championship. You need a strong group and everybody go in the same direction. The futsal is totally different than in Europe or in other countries. I think there are good levels here in Australia. There are good players, so they have to work hard. And maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
สำหรับผมในกีฬาฟุตซอลครับ2 อย่างที่ต้องมีครับในตัวนักกีฬาฟุตซอลครับก็ระเบียบวินัยแล้วก็ความมุ่งมั่นครับมี 2 อย่างนี้ก็ทำให้คุณอาจจะประสบความสำเร็จได้ครับ
ก็ฟุตซอลเป็นเหมือนชีวิตผมครับเพราะว่าผมทำมันมาตั้งแต่เด็กแล้วก็คิดว่ามันน่าจะเป็นส่วนหนึ่งในชีวิตของผมเลยครับ
ผมเสียสละในกีฬานี้ก็ในเรื่องของเวลาครับเพราะว่าเราต้องทิ้งทุกอย่างไปข้างหลังครับแล้วก็คอนเซนเทรตแล้วก็มีความมุ่งมั่นกับกีฬานี้เพื่อที่จะพัฒนาตัวเองแล้วก็ไปสู่ความสำเร็จครับ
สำหรับต้องมีความมุ่งมั่นแล้วก็ความอดทนแล้วก็ความพยายามครับผมถึงประสบความสำเร็จได้ครับ
พวกเราไม่เคยหยุดไล่ล่าพวกเรามาที่นี่เพื่อพิชิตพวกเราหยุดไม่ได้
A good futsal player has to be intelligent. It's the most important quality in a futsal player because in futsal play is very fast, and you have to think really fast. You don't have time, you don't have a space. They have to enjoy the game. This finally futsal or football or basketball or tennis, it's only a game, so they have to enjoy. If they don't enjoy the game, they don't improve. No, they know that we know as coaches that every day is good for improving your level. So you have to work hard every day. It's detail. It's important for improve your career. The group is the key of success. If you don't have a union group, you can win some matches, you can win some tournaments, but finally you don't win the World Cup or you don't win the European Championship. You need a strong group and everybody go in the same direction. The futsal is totally different than in Europe or in other countries. I think there are good levels here in Australia. There are good players, so they have to work hard. And maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
สำหรับผมในกีฬาฟุตซอลครับ2อย่างที่ต้องมีครับในตัวนักกีฬาฟุตซอลครับก็ระเบียบวินัยแล้วก็ความมุ่งมั่นครับมี2อย่างนี้ก็ทำให้คุณอาจจะประสบความสำเร็จได้ครับ
ก็ฟุตซอลเป็นเหมือนชีวิตผมครับเพราะว่าผมทำมันมาตั้งแต่เด็กแล้วก็คิดว่ามันน่าจะเป็นส่วนหนึ่งในชีวิตของผมเลยครับ
ผมเสียสละในกีฬานี้ก็ในเรื่องของเวลาครับเพราะว่าเราต้องทิ้งทุกอย่างไปข้างหลังครับแล้วก็คอนเซนเทรตแล้วก็มีความมุ่งมั่นกับกีฬานี้เพื่อที่จะพัฒนาตัวเองแล้วก็ไปสู่ความสำเร็จครับ
สำหรับต้องมีความมุ่งมั่นแล้วก็ความอดทนแล้วก็ความพยายามครับผมถึงประสบความสำเร็จได้ครับ
พวกเราไม่เคยหยุดไล่ล่าพวกเรามาที่นี่เพื่อพิชิตพวกเราหยุดไม่ได้
Welcome to the final game of the season. Western United and Melbourne Aku to close it out, which a few months ago, when the fixtures were announced, might have been a title race, and United nearly get off to a really, really fast start. Aku, who of course were coronated last Sunday with a disciplined win over Fitzroy, rounded out a second straight title for QEMU's side. And they won it so in fantastic fashion. Tonight they are chasing the sort of invincibility that is bought and that does bring series futsal immortality. An unbeaten season is something they're on the cusp of, something they are on the horizon of, something unprecedented, unparalleled, and truly beyond forgery or imitation. And they've rattled the post early. Williams for Hugh Beak. It's waiting on the runners. That's a brilliant ball over the top. Allerton in retreat to make the challenge. Not once but twice how high it came out too, just to make sure that the door was closed. But Melbourne Aku wanting to make a strong start. Hugh Beak got up and under. And it'll go out for the keeper's ball. It's been a brilliant season. It's been a brilliant night to round it out, albeit a bit of a frosty one on a dark and dry Sunday in Darebin. Sun was out throughout the day. It was a glorious, glorious Sunday afternoon in the sunshine for anybody who spent the time in it. And for the final time in the series futsal season, across all formats, across all levels, across all competitions. Good evening, Josh.
G'day, Ethan Rigg, and it's a fantastic time. It's the final time of 2025.1, and what a game to end it off on.
Terrific match to end it. It's Hugh Beak. Melbourne Aku are searching, as I mentioned before, for an unbeaten season. Already confirmed as champions. Do you actually think that takes some of the pressure off the likelihood of an unbeaten finish, knowing that the crown is secured?
I think that's a multifaceted kind of concept. At the end of the day, Aku comes into a game, they want to win it. It's more than just a trophy. It's literally about do or die, win the game. That's our motto.
If they do manage to do it, they will go into series futsal folklore. There's an unbeaten team and unbeaten champions to win 2 in a row. However, Abdul Latif is on the march just to dent those dreams momentarily. Yamashita and Williams did well to slow her up, and in retreat clears it away. Suleiman Mohammed taking the main approach on the touchline tonight. 2 very different styles of management. QEMU looking a little more reserved, a little bit more relaxed, whereas Suleiman Mohammed rather animated. And Allerton is doing a very, very good effort early. Driving forward, forcing the save out of Yi, who pushed it away for a corner. Which Abdul Latif will take. 2 on either bench tonight. Taken quickly. Sargin back for Abdul Latif. Couldn't get around Williams. Might find its way out to Allerton again. Does she fancy another drive? Trying to find a way around Yamashita. Allerton to drill one into the side netting.
Melbourne Aku looking a bit scarce on the bench. Just 2 and 1 is a goalkeeper. So it's very interesting to see if Western United, who actually take that back, both 2 on the bench. Should be an interesting night. It'll be whose depth and whose starting 5 will win this game. And Sargin is charging forward. Got away from Hugh Beak, but not around Williams. Rebecca Yee has taken a tumble. QEMU thought she was impeded. It's worked on to Ambo, who's gone through the legs, and Abdul Latif in retreat clears it away. Western United, the only team to take points off of Melbourne Aku this season. Last time they met, however, Aku edged out a 1-0 win in a cagey contest, which, once again, on this title run, was one of the results which set them apart. And absolutely, they really, after that result, didn't look back.
Sargin, Williams, hot on the press. Very tidy challenge from one of many of QEMU's Kiwi contingent. Williams has had another fantastic season. It's just another sign of the array of talent from the other side of the Tasman. Allerton side ball. Abdul Latif to drill one. Wasn't far away. Once again, just finding that near post instead of troubling Rebecca Yee. Suleiman Mohammed engaged in an extensive conversation with one of the officials, and Ambo's worked to the odds and rolled her effort wide of the post. Western United side ball We've reflected on a lot of the seasons that were for these clubs and these sides throughout the evening. These two, probably the two most anticipated ones of those. Aku came into it as defending champions, and Mary Hubeek test Lara El Hayek for the first time this evening. Aku came into it as defending champions, and at the moment they've gone one better. They are on the brink of an invincible season. When it all started, back on the first Sunday of the last month of summer. Josh Fusco, did you expect it to pan out quite the way that it has?
Wow, that's a big statement to say it pan out. And this team is so quality, but again, the quality of Western United and Fitzroy, you could never have seen that Rebecca Davies would be injured and that Fitzroy would be quite thin towards the middle part of the season. So all credit to Melbourne Aku. They have been fantastic, consistent. They've had a deep squad and they've been coached well.
Sargin wanted to go on the switch. Allerton was down the line. Williams came across to make the challenge. And even on that Western United front as well, it's a team littered with talent. They've added a lot of depth to it this season. My main question to you, do you think Suleiman Mohammed and Elias Parthamos will be happy with how this season has played out for their side and with the progress that they've made?
I think you're going to take the good with the bad, and to finish third place is probably not what they expected with such a strong squad, particularly picking up big pieces like Claudia Damasi, and who haven't actually quite featured this season. With the pickups they've had, I think they'll be disappointed.
Williams tried to whip one to the back post. Allerton read it. United 3-on-2. Stella Nissan was one of those. Allerton lost out. Ambo not in ahead of Sargin. Of course, the injury as well to Amanda Araha. Such an important cog in that United machine, an important piece to the puzzle. Melbourne Aku are without Jessica Rao tonight. They're out Saki Nagai and Miata too, but Hubeek is drilling low. Al Hayek got down to make a very smart save. Abdul Latif. Allerton, loose touch. It'll be Aku's side ball.
And there have been a lot of talks about this Western United squad coming into next season and what it will look like. A lot of whispers that many players might just leave the camp. And that might be the biggest breakup since the Beatles.
Western United will want to keep a hold of as many of what is currently a Fab 5, not a Fab 4, that they have together. If they want to go one better next season, they've been in the title picture for most of it. A win tonight means that they just stayed within touching distance, within 2 points of Fitzroy the whole way. It's been a hugely impressive season for them. Williams for Hubeek, who has a go from range at El Hayek, makes a very good save. Watched it all the way. Tried to fling it out for Sargin, but Hubeek got up highest and nodded it into touch. Allerton. Hubeek one in ahead of Sargin, but didn't quite keep it in.
Just a throwback to Lara El Hayek. What a fantastic goalkeeper. What you get from her, I think, is unlike anyone else in the competition when you consider the consistency, the amount of games she plays, and the quality she brings to every single game. She hardly has a below-par game.
Certainly. One of the division's finest, and that will be required of her tonight, and then some. Williams got it from Ambo, wanted to drive it. Nissan on the block. Ambo then picked it up, tried to stab it through for Hubeek, who got away from Abdul Latif, but Stella Nissan did ever so well. Did superbly in the recovery. Ambo, Yamashita for Hubeek, who went too high, but tried to find Ambo at the back post. And mention El Hayek as one of the best keepers in the division, and she certainly is. Big miss for Melbourne Aku this season. Has been their regular number one. Danielle Bradley, who's been spending a lot of time out injured. Rebecca Yee has deputised incredibly well. Aisha Attic also on the bench tonight too. So Aku as well have a real smattering of shot-stopping superbness. Here's Williams. Moved it on for Hubeek. Sargin took a tumble. Hubeek stayed on her feet and turned it wide. Took a touch on the way. Officials given a corner, so that's a very, very good save from Lara El Hayek.
And that's why, again, you said it best. She's the division's top goalkeeper.
Hubik's corner. Out for Williams to whip one. Al Hayek got a strong hand. And they just tried to keep it alive. Aku Kassab couldn't quite keep it in.
When you look at someone like Lara Al Hayek, who is such a young goalkeeper, do you think being so good at that age is just, she must be Futsal bound eventually?
She's been required nearly again as Ambo raced forward. Lara Al Hayek is certainly one of the players who could be in with the national team shout. There are many at Series Futsal who, in the opinion of many, could be in with a national team look to. It's Allerton. Couldn't get it through to Sargin. Kassab's picked it up. Ambo's through. Al Hayek's made a good save. Kiwi Mew wanted handball. Nissan going the other way wanted the spectacular. But Stella Nissan couldn't quite find the finishing touch. Hugh Beak. Williams. Quickly back for Hugh Beak. Lovely 1-2. Williams into Ambo. Williams has kept going. Started the move and nearly finished it off fantastically. But Al Hayek in the way.
And just couldn't find a way past the presence of Lara Al Hayek. Puts the ball right into her grasp and easily pushes it away.
Hugh Beak's turn. Drilled it into Allerton. Nissan 2 on hand to make the block. That's a lovely touch to find Sargin. Kassab in with a good challenge as well. Deadlock still unbroken in this game. Aku have had the better looks. Western United have also...
Ooh, there's been a talking to. Spicy.
Very rarely see Western United the recipients of a talking to. Abdul Latif lost out the first time to Ambo, then to Ubik, then went and won it back. Kassab's turn to challenge next. Moved it on. Allerton. This is wonderful futsal from Western United. Allerton's got round them all, apart from Rebecca Yee, who's made a fantastic save, but that was terrific from Western United.
And had that have gone in, easily we're looking at the goal of the round so far.
Nissan's corner. Abdul Latif up and under it. And QEMU wants timeout. Melbourne Aku have made a bright start. Western United hitting back in the last minute or so with a succession of shots. But as we go to our first timeout break of the night, it's still 0-0.
A good futsal player has to be intelligent. It's the most important quality in a futsal player because in futsal play is very fast, and you have to think really fast. You don't have time, you don't have a space. They have to enjoy the game. This finally futsal or football or basketball or tennis, it's only a game, so they have to enjoy. If they don't enjoy the game, they don't improve. No, they know that we know as coaches that every day is good for improving your level, so you have to work hard every day. It's detail, it's important for improve your career. The group is the key of success. If you don't have a union group, you can win some matches.
And we are back from the timeout break. It's still 0-0 between Western United and Melbourne Aku as Sophie Williams tries to progress the ball forward, but it's fantastic pressing there from Stella Nissen. Though Yamashita will find enough time from the side ball to redistribute to Sophie Williams. Kassab tries to turn through the centre. Blocked off well from a great Western United press. Holding firmly at the half court. Ambo. Nissen trying to dive in. And it indeed does work for her Western United team. Allerton now the side ball. Looks back to Al Hayek, who wants to progress the ball slowly. Abdul Latif on the flank. Beats her player the first time. Kassab lost, but upon the cutback, the defensive pressure was too much, and it's still a side ball. Sargin and Abdul Latif just couldn't on-stretch to it. Yamashita knocks it down for an Allerton side ball. Abdul Latif, Allerton. The lofted ball goes straight into the palms of Rebecca Yee, who then opts to throw it to Yamashita in the centre.
Ambo looking to turn away. Quick 1-2 with Yamashita. Had Williams wider. Clipped it into the palms of El Hayek. Rolled it on for Nissan, who had a violet wall around her. Stella Nissan nearly did superbly to get out of that. But in the end, ran down a cul-de-sac and into touch.
Sophie Williams, the side ball, and might look back for Yamashita. All the time in the world for her. No Western United player pressing a wonderful threaded ball, just not fast enough.
Fraction too heavy for Williams to work her way onto. The space opened up so invitingly for Melbourne Aku. Yamashita's ball, on the rare occasion, a fraction too heavy. Here's Allerton. Abdul Latif was on the switch. So let's find her. Kassab wanted to make the challenge. Abdul Latif away from her and stinging the palms of Rebecca Yee, who's gathered coolly at the second attempt. Here is Williams. Beauty of a ball. Kassab tried to go around the corner for Hugh Beak. Allerton for Nissan, who took it down tidily. It was too hot to handle in the end for anybody, and it finds touch. It's been a very stop-starty game so far between these two sides, and yet to find the first goal, but it's not for a lack of quality. It's just that final ball that comes with the closeness of a big game.
Perhaps it's also that cautious behaviour, as you were saying, in these big games, where if you make a mistake, the counter-attack could easily finish you for the rest of the time.
Allerton. Western United work themselves ahead. They've certainly resumed from timeout the brighter. Abdul Latif to drill one. Wasn't a million miles away. Had Rebecca Yee jumping. And she was thankful. It had too much loft. That's a tidy ball looking for Kassab. Sargin in retreat did well. Abdul Latif tried to hook it round the corner for Nissan, but instead hooked it out of play.
Now, Ethan, I have a question for you. You've been at this season now. You've watched at least half of the WSFE games. Who do you think is the most improved player this season?
That's a terrific question. I think there's a lot of players who have come on leaps and bounds so far in season 1 of 2025, and it's hard to say when it comes to the most improved, because I think a lot of players have elevated their level. Stella Nissan's certainly one, though, who I think has really gone up a level this season for Western United, has come in big in a lot of moments and has really become an integral part of that squad. So if you had to go for one, I would go with her. Someone who always brings a very positive energy to the side as well. Abdul Latif lost out to Ambo. And then just got a final touch on it. I believe I'm about to be joined by yet another voice in the commentary box to bring us home for the final game. You've got a trio. Some would call it a big three. And we've got Tyler Lewis in with us too. Good evening, Tyler.
Hey mate, how are you?
We're doing all right. It's final game of the season, final game of the evening. It's been an evening full of free-flowing futsal. It's been a very fun one. Maybe not so fun for your Phoenix side. Not the end to the season you would have wanted, not meant as a dig, but...
No, it was disappointing. Especially Frisky got injured early on and we just didn't understand how to play against it. Very frustrating as a coach, but that's all right. The season's done. We can look forward to next season as our Hayek pulls off a tremendous double save there.
Yet more brilliant goalkeeping from Western United's number one, who's been not short of action in this first half. Allerton on for Sargin, not around Yamashita, but she'll get it back. Clipped it over the top. Williams watches it all the way into Rebecca Yee's palms. That's a lovely lob towards Hugh Beak. Yamashita moved it on quickly. Ambo with a stroke of fortune got it to Hugh Beak, who could not get beyond Allerton.
Yeah. We're talking about most improved players. Who was your most improved player so far, or you couldn't name one?
I went for Stella Nissan.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that one too. I think Stella this season compared to last has just improved leaps and bounds under Elias and Sully. You could say Lara, but she's always been good. like she's always been one of the best keepers.
Williams loses out to Sargin, who can go on the charge perhaps as Yamashita retreating. Rebecca Yee parried, and Stella Nissan on cue turns in the opener.
I'm good at that.
Western United hit the front. And well, it isn't exactly the Tyler Lewis curse. It can't be a curse because it so often calling in people on cue pays off for them.
What was it, Oracle? I'll go by the Oracle. I'm happy to go by the Oracle. Are you alright with that, Ethan?
Tyler Lewis Oracle works yet another piece of magic.
Ugh.
Ambo threaded, Hugh Beacon and Hayek quickly off her line. Just at the moment, Aku won't be going invincible after all. Nissam, not away from Williams. Allerton, Abdul Latif.
I will say as well, Ethan, the Twins have improved tremendously as well over the last couple of seasons. Like, you go back to think of where they started. They're incredibly, defensively, they work so hard for you. And that's a part for the Western United team, that just they work for each other.
Big part of why they were in the title picture for so much of this season. The fact that they are just such a united unit in every sense of the word, really. Same with this Melbourne Aku side. You're watching two teams right at the very top of this league at the moment, as that's dipped devilishly onto the bar, and Nissan was on hand to turn it away. Nearly a nervy moment.
You know what I would really love to see tonight is the return of Aisha Attic to just step on and play like 10 minutes or something towards the end of the game, coming back from a couple of knee injuries. I think that would just be poetic, and it would seal the Aku season for what it is, and it's been a tremendous effort from them all season long. And she's a player that stuck with them thin and thick.
Would be a lovely touch, wouldn't it, to see Attic back out there.
10 golden gloves.
Been sorely missed by them this season as well.
Mm.
And that's an understatement, some would say. Terrific goalkeeper.
Terrific person as well. She's a lovely, lovely person to talk to.
A very, very nice character. Someone who certainly welcomed me quite warmly into series futsal as well, and started out. And you feel nervous the first few times you get there, but
Who did you get stuck with the first few times on the Sunday? Was it you by yourself, weren't you?
I was on my own.
Yeah. I know you had Palombi for the series then.
And I'm excited to rekindle that relationship with Adam Palombi in a fortnight when Series Futsal Men's returns.
Yes, I'll be there in what will probably be different colours to what I was last season, now that the Phoenix men's team went up.
Yes, there might be some things, might be pieces of legislation that might see you return to Northern Phoenix.
I'm still in talks with the commission at the moment. Let's see what happens there.
Ambo, not away from Allerton. Hubik was lurking. Abdul Latif in retreat did very well. Tried to be tidy over the top. Yamashita nodded it down. Kanaku land one before half time. Williams too hot for Hubik.
No subs, or only the one sub for Western, so they're starting to die a little bit here in the second half. Oh, sorry, the last half of the first.
Abdul Latif's giveaway. Hubik. Ambo couldn't turn it in. Allerton came across. She's been caught.
Yeah, war one there. Allerton did everything she could to make sure the shot didn't go in, and both players, well, it looks like Allerton's come off best.
Timeout slip just in the hand of Suleiman Mohammed. Might we see it before half time? Al Hayek, that's a tidy ball. Nissan nodded it onto herself and then put Yamashita under pressure.
Foul. Yeah, she clipped her legs accidentally. But this is what I mean about Stella. She's just so intense. Like, we'll just chase and chase and chase. Does all the team things really well.
Williams. Just waiting on the run as Yamashita was one. Ambo dropped in. Again, Nissan hot on the press, just stopping Aku from advancing. This has been a very good setup from Western United, who have played a very good first half. They go into the break, a goal up, courtesy of a super piece of Stella Nissan improvisation. Half time in the final game of the season in Darabin. It's Melbourne Aku 0, Western United 1. We return from half-time for the final time this season. Melbourne Aku need at least one goal to rescue an invincible campaign. Western United, who are the only side to take points off them this season, want to dent that even further. I'm Ethan Rigg, joined with Tyler Lewis and potentially Josh Fusco as well.
Sometimes he'll put his little say in every now and again, I think.
Might be Tyler and I for the majority of it. And Aku were looking for a fast start. Ambo for Williams. Yamashita, another player who's had a terrific season, and that's a terrific ball. Ambo trying to wriggle away from Allerton, wanted the return. Sargin read that superbly and had to concede the corner.
Yeah, they've come out with a hell of a lot more on fire now. Like, they want to move the ball quickly. They want to try and play quickly and try and, with the numbers and how we saw Western towards the end of the first half, they were a bit flat. They started to die a little bit, so let's see if Aku can take advantage of that.
Ambo got it back from Yamashita into the feet of Kasab. That's a great touch. Yamashita couldn't turn it in. Al Hayek with another fantastic save.
Yeah, out really quickly there. That is the key to coming out like that in those one-on-ones, is leave your line as quickly as possible and take the space away from the attacker.
Abdul Latif all the way back for Al Hayek once again, who gets a chance to venture for the first time tonight. That's a tidy touch around the corner. She drew Kasab and took her out of the game. Abdul Latif is on the march and has rolled it just wide.
Oh, no, couldn't have got any closer without going in. That was, on our angle, was within millimetres of hitting the post.
Melbourne Aku nearly had a heart in Mal's moment. And Allerton is looking to make sure the respite is short-lived. Yamashita wins out on that occasion. Kasab chested it down. Allerton then won in. Abdul Latif is taking her time to survey the options. Sargin has shifted. Touch further forward on the flank. Abdul Latif found her. Kasab won in. Yamashita nearly made it work, and it'll trickle all the way back to Rebecca Yee.
Sargin there did really well, just fighting for the ball. Did lose the ball, but then didn't let it go and won her own ball back.
Williams for Yamashita, whose touch invited Abdul Latif to make the challenge. And Sargin in retreat as well with another good one.
Just be watching Sophie Williams here. She's just lurking towards the back post, and that's where Aku would most likely go.
Williams moved near post.
She was on too.
Yamashita, she was open. Kasab, lovely bit of footwork to get around one Sargin sister, but not the second. Yamashita, that's a great ball. Kasab with a tidy touch. Williams has got a yard and has hit the side netting.
Again, our Hayek out there really quickly, takes the space away. It's exactly what you need to do as a keeper.
Hayek just hurried Williams a touch there, you get the feel.
Well, at the end of the day, you're either going to block the shot or you're going to put the player off. Like, it doesn't matter how it stays out of the back of the net, as long as it stays out of the back of the net at the end of the day.
Here's Williams once again. Cubic reinstated for Aku. Williams fizzed it into Kasab.
Ooh.
Abdul Latif just dragged her down.
Soft. Really soft.
Hambo, free kick quickly. Abdul Latif has won it back. And Sargin up with her. His touch was loose and invited Ambo to win it.
Did you see Western United put out a trial post for players for next season?
It's rather interesting.
Makes you think whether they're losing players or not for next season.
Possibly some new additions for Western United could be needed, or just could be sought after to add some depth to the side.
Yeah, definitely need to have some depth. A lot of the time this season have only had 6. Very rare they have a second keeper, so maybe they are looking to bolster their side. As we know, next season's a bit of a smash and grab. Only the 12 games will be played for each team, 14 rounds, 12 games played.
Places a lot more importance as well on every single one of those games, and you need the full side available.
Wrong call there by Mateo. Referee Mateo did come off the back of Aku player's leg.
Here's Hubik. Williams tried to find Kasab. Sargin won in. Hubik then touched it on for Amber. That's a lovely back heel return. Aku all of a sudden are on the break. Hubik slid and Hayek came to mop up. Moved it on to Allerton.
Yeah, probably didn't need to play the ball so quickly there. Didn't allow our teammates to get into any kind of position or space. And it's forced this bit of a scramble as Allerton goes through the legs and taken out by Mami Ambo.
Terrific work from Clarissa Allerton, who has had a superb season as well.
Yeah, look, as I said, I think Jess Al will get MVP. I wouldn't be shocked if Clarissa Allerton is best and fairest. I think she's been that good. She was up there for a long time. I think Jess Al will get it based off the Aku season as a whole.
Williams. Those end of season rewards are still to be decided for the most part.
Except for one.
Yes.
One was confirmed in the last game.
Yes, it was. I was about to say that. Claudia Frascalzo claimed the golden boot with a truly out-of-this-world performance.
Yep.
Five goals on one ankle.
Yep. Thanks. Thanks.
My apologies, Tyler. It was...
She deserved it. She was in the right spots. Like, at the end of the day, Frix is a tremendous player, and to do it on one ankle is ridiculous. Poor on our end, but on her side of things, it's unreal.
Kassab might have a go from range. Al Hayek read that very well. It dipped dangerously, and she got down just to stop it from bobbling in front of her. Otherwise, it could have landed dangerously. Abdul Latif is now on the charge the other way. Nissan centrally, Sargin on the switch. Williams has held her up wonderfully. That's terrific defending.
Yeah, Williams did really that well there, getting her body in front and forcing the ball to go where it did. So Abdul Latif did just as well to keep it in and win a side ball for her side.
Allerton skipped her way around Ambo, but not around Kassab, who tried to clip it back down the line. Williams. Allerton again, hot on the press, leading that United press as well.
Yeah, high press here.
I asked Josh Fusco this question earlier, and I'll ask you too, Tyler Lewis. You look at these two teams' seasons, as we might have to just hold you a second. Williams is on the march and wasn't able to stab it out to Yamashita, but we look at these two. Aku, what did they need to do to go for 3 titles in a row? And for Western United to take that next step, what did they need?
The answer to both teams is the same thing, depth, because a lot of the times we saw Aku not only bring 6-7 players this season, and Western United towards the end, the second half of the season, it's the same story. So you've got your consistent in your core group. It's adding those little bits of depth into your team to make them slightly better. I mean, Amanda Araha being injured for Western is a massive thing. So if she comes back and, from an injury and she stays, she'll be a tremendous player. She'll be a tremendous input for them. Beck Davies was away for a lot of the season as well. So just adding those little bits of depth will help each team.
Suleiman Mohammed for Western United has issued a timeout. They still hold the lead, but Melbourne Aku have been knocking on the doors. We go to the first time out of the second half. It's Melbourne Aku 0, Western United 1.
In some tournaments, but finally you don't win the World Cup or you don't win the Europe.
We return from timeout. Western United holding the slenderest of leads over Melbourne Aku as they try to put an end to their invincible season hopes. The only team to have taken points off them this season currently are taking 4 off them.
Could we see a repeat from the men's side of the competition as well? Only 1 loss for them for the entire season. A couple of draws, but more than Blues that was.
Possibly.
That'd be interesting. Can we have both competitions in the same way for the leaders?
We're about to find out. Aku have a corner. Williams tried to guide it towards Yamashita. Nissan the furthest back made the block and is now the first forward. That's a brilliant ball from Williams, who then took over, but her touch was too heavy.
Yeah, the Kiwi international. She has done very well adjusting to a new side in Aku. Probably been a standout for them for the majority of the season. Very sought after player last off season.
She's been simply superb.
Well, you'd hope so. She does play for the national team. You would hope so, Ethan.
As I mentioned before, just a real array of quality in QEMU's side. A lot of talent from the other side of the Tasman.
Yeah, or she's got Danielle Bradley as well. So that's another Kiwi international, and then Jess Howe, who obviously played for the Futsaroos earlier during the season.
Ambo. It's an important block made by Sargent. So a lot of internationals in QEMU's arsenal.
Well, yeah, he's got the 3. Fitzroy only have the 1, and that's and Western United don't, or nearly. Beck Davies was touch and go. So
Williams tried to tease it into Ambo, but it again will find touch, and it will be El Hayek's ball. Of course, there've been some futsal championships going on at the moment as well. We've got a real litany of series futsal talent.
yeah, we could have had a couple more. Unfortunately, injuries and time off work. Fortunately, we don't get paid for futsal for our time, so taking the time off work can be challenging for some of the players. So, but Lee Coruscant was selected and couldn't get the time off work. Arte Ibrahim had an injury a few days before the comp, but a few days before the team was announced. Sorry. So, and then Jordi Guerrero from New South Wales, who we saw in series futsal this season for the first time ever. Second time ever. Sorry. He was he copped an injury a few days before they flew out. Obviously, Adam Cooper, the second most capped futsal of all time. Adam Cooper, that is, got to make his return to the series for the Futsaroos. Yeah, massive things coming out from series futsal from our players, which is for the competition owners and runners. I can't imagine they'd be any happier than what they are right now.
You certainly wouldn't be. We had a Fab 4 from series futsal. We had 2 as well who featured, Jamie Dib, Ethan DeMello. And Aku on the march, El Hayek with another terrific save, and she did even better to claim that.
I don't know how she keeps that in her arms.
Abdul Latif cleared it only as far as Subic. Ambo tried to roll it. Stella Nissan furthest back, cleared it off the line. Williams kept it alive, but the ball for Yamashita was just as she was stopping up.
You keep seeing it, Stella's furthest back, and then still the first one up on the press. She's doing very well. She's working her guts out trying to get there.
Just to touch on all of those new futsal roos and the people coming back to the national team fold, with so many of them having featured in series futsal, we just want to know, Josh Fusco, the Commissioner's perspective on having so many internationals.
Well, I'm a man who loves international players. Open arms with everyone. So having such great quality players come from abroad and even...
We're talking about our national team, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Jeez. Yeah, look, it's great to have a league where we're represented on the national stage, and that Football Australia and the selection from the coach can look at our game and say, okay, they've made strides from where they were from the previous season, from the small court. They're taking us a lot more seriously, and it's really fantastic.
That's what I was going to say to you. I was going to say, do you think the difference between going from the old Thomastown venue to the international court has made a massive difference in terms of our selection, like our club selections?
Yeah, of course. I mean, at the end of the day, you're now playing on a bigger field, and it requires you to have that stamina, have that patience, have the actual tactics in play to play
Hold
with
up, Josh,
players.
1 second. Continue.
For example, in New South Wales, they obviously play on that big court themselves, so their tactics are accustomed to what they would verse on the international stage.
Interesting. Thank you for your thoughts, Joshua Fusco. Ethan Rigg, please take us back away, because that got boring towards the end.
Ambo's in. El Hayek makes another brilliant save. Aku were momentarily 2-on-1. We appreciate your contributions as always, Josh.
Love you, Joshua.
Commentary. You've been terrific to be with tonight, that's for sure.
I'm so getting fired up this week after that comment.
Hamilton cleared our lines. Just in the nick of time as there was a Violet Haze circling.
How old were you when you came over here, Ethan?
6.5.
6.5? Oh, so I was going to ask you if you'd seen any futsal in your time over there, and what the comparisons would be like.
I got asked this last week.
Did you?
I did.
Fusco asked you, did he?
He did. Josh Fusco asked me. I may have been a bit too young for that.
Oh, that's okay. At least I asked how old you were. I knew you weren't playing futsal at 6. Not with your ability. I've seen you on a court. Take a breath and then you can start talking again, because you're trying not to laugh and it's great.
Cubic side ball on for Williams. Yamashita. That's trying to be tidy for Ambo, who nodded it on. That's Partially a reason I became a commentator, because then you get to share the sublime with people who have far more ability than I do. Here's Al Hayek.
That's why I'm in goal, mate.
Allerton. That's a tidy ball into Sargin. We just opened the door enough for Williams to win in. Allerton once again trying to get away from Hugh Beak, wanting an option, wanting a runner. Had a Sargin sister either side, split the middle to find Stella Nissan instead, who was herself crowded out by a wall of violets, and Sargin just happy to send that into touch.
Don't know how Mary didn't get given a foul there, because she gave Stella a good old shove trying to win that ball back. So interesting to see what the referee's line is tonight, how physical they want the game to be, because it does change week by week depending on who referees you.
Ambo momentarily through the legs of Allerton, who made it work. Sargin nearly invited Yamashita with a heavy touch, and again just had to hook it away. Now Aisha Attick's got a timeout in hand, and she is hurrying over to gift it to the officials, who will take it. Aku will take it in the nick of time. QEMU wanted it, and he got it just in time, as well as they're about to restart. We go to a timeout again. It is still Western United 1, Melbourne Aku 0.
And champions here, you need a strong group and everybody go in the same direction. The futsal is totally different than in Europe or in other countries. I think there are good levels here in Australia. There are good players, so they have to work hard. And maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
Return from timeout. 8.5 minutes for Melbourne Aku to salvage an invincible season, or are Western United on the final day about to deny them a place in series futsal immortality?
2-0?
1-0.
1-0. For some reason I thought Western United scored another goal.
They've had a couple of really good chances.
Yeah, that's probably why I think.
Aku have started to knock on the door a lot more as the second half has progressed, but Lara Al Hayek is in terrific form in between the sticks.
Yeah, probably will end up with Golden Glove this season, I would think. Should be the most consistent keeper in the top clubs that normally get it.
Abdul Latif has lost out. Ambo's away from Allerton, tried the cutback. Allerton did terrifically not to just give Yamashita a look. Another Aku corner taken quickly, rolled all the way out for Williams to hit one, and she's dragged it wide.
Interesting the way they're moving the ball at the moment, allowing plenty of dummies to come through. So hopefully catching Western United off guard, because Western United are playing a very good man-on-man situation here.
Hubik just waiting on the run as Yamashita was one. Williams has got a yard and has tried to slide it through. Nearly made it work, but it was behind Hubik once again.
Yeah, there's no way Sargham's going to let her have that ball. So they're literally playing man-on-man. They're not switching. So it means what you'll find is the space for Aku will be with quick 1-2. So quicker ball play means they'll get through the man-on-man press. It's more of a half-court press.
Al Hayek. It's a terrific bit of insight. Really is.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. I try.
Something about the phrase half-court press that is just so lovely to hear.
Well, that's what it is. So basically what you'll find are Western United will happily sit behind the halfway line, but as soon as any of the Aku players step over the halfway, they'll step up onto them like they are. So they're not letting them run through and create open space and have their own shots.
And the idea is you either limit the shots, or if they come in from distance. at an angle and at a position where the keeper's got a better line of sight for it, so it just stops that ability of giving away an easy one.
It stops wider shots. It stops shots through the middle as well. It only allows wider shots, which our Hayek's pretty good at saving. Just for the ones watching what happened, Rebecca Yee threw the ball over her D-line, but the only reason it's not given a foul is because when the ball goes out behind the court, it technically becomes a dead ball. So Rebecca Yee was given the opportunity to throw it back in again, and it's not classified as a handball because the ball's not live. So if she did it now, the ball would be live and it would be classified as a handball. And as I've just said, it's just happened.
And she has done it. The Tyler Lewis Oracle has returned once again. And mid-explanation, Western United have an opportunity to land a second and to give Melbourne Aku a mountain to climb.
It should be a direct free kick because it's a handball.
Abdul Latif and Allerton just delegating responsibility. There's a violet wall on the line. Nissan Sargin on either post.
So we might see Layla hit this.
It's Abdul Latif, it's in!
Sorry, Abdul Latif, apologies.
Western United have two. Abdul Latif with a sweet strike, and Melbourne Aku have a mountain to climb to keep the unbeaten season alive.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They've only got about 5.5 minutes left. Probably a little bit less than that. I can't see the scoreboard. I do apologise. But I don't know if they'll be able to come back. The defence from Western has been tremendous, especially in the second half. Let's hope they can, for Western fans out there, they can keep their defensive structure moving forward. It did hit the wire, as the referees are saying. If you look up for us, we can see it shaking, but it is hard to see. It might be easy to see on camera, actually.
As we mentioned at numerous points this season, the railing is the best defensive asset in the league. Ambo with a lovely touch, Ubik with a stab, and Al Hayek got across rather comfortably to smother it. She's looked long towards Stella Nissan.
Yeah, so the reason that she would be looking long right now as well is because she's trying to eliminate the Aku press. Aku is stepping up very high, and they're trying to get out of it. So then if they need to, they can play back towards the end, which was what they tried to do then. It just didn't work out.
Abdul Latif.
What a ball.
That's a beauty of a ball. Sargin for three. Rebecca Yee saves. Sargin on the second has turned it in. And Western United add another.
The invincible season is in peril, mate.
It is. Aku's invincible hopes might be ignominiously sliding away.
Ignominious? I can't even say the word, mate. This is why I come here. I learn. My bogan self can't comprehend these words, my friend.
Ambo on the march. Rolls it back for Sophie Williams.
We can't all be Tories.
Wanted to switch it for Kassab. Come on now. Been doing so well all night. Abdul Latif side ball for Western United. Obviously. Not all Southerners are Tories.
You are.
I've never actually voted on a general election. Here's Ubik, who's got away from Sargin. He was fouled up in the end.
Yeah, it was a foul. But Western United collapsing on the ball and not allowing them to have any space. So, do you have to vote?
I don't believe so.
No, I think you would be...
You have to have resided within the UK for the previous 12 months. And
yeah.
Obviously, I haven't done that for quite some time. But Williams' free kick has turned out of play.
Lucky you. Now we can't call you Tory because we don't know if you are or not.
My goodness gracious me. This is a bit of...
Just a bit of banter, Ethan. Last game of the season, you got to have a bit of fun with it.
Bit of end of season banter.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, right now, it looks like Western United are going to run away with this one 3-0. A good way to cap off their season. Probably a little bit underwhelming for them. They would have thought they would have been higher up in the title picture. I think they would have been fighting for... They would have loved to have been fighting for the title at this moment in time, but injuries and that alike have kept them, and a few bad results, like losing against Hart was probably not ideal for them at a time where they probably should have won the game. Put a damper on their season.
That might have been the one as well. When they look back on it, that Hart game in particular might have been the one where they sort of realised that they might be out of the picture, but at the moment, Aku have an opportunity. Kasab got it through. Amber might make it work. It's hit the post. It has hit the post. Maybe, just maybe, it isn't going to be their night.
It's definitely not going to be their night. They're missing shots like that. I'm looking around. I'm trying to find Aisha Addick, who seems to have removed herself from the bench. So let's be interesting to see if she makes her way onto the court. Doesn't look like it will happen though, which is a little disappointing. She's been a big part of that Aku team.
Ambo's not moving very freely. She's got
She's
a
hurt.
problem. Should make way for Yamashita. Hubik tried to rattle it, but Allerton was in the way.
Cop that one. That one stings. Especially on a cold night. It has been very low temperatures tonight here in Melbourne.
It really has been. It's been a glorious Sunday afternoon. It was sunny. It's nice and warm, but the second that sun drops, all of the heat goes out of the sky and the temperature plummets to still a rather frosty one. A nice reminder that even though the spring sunshine is starting to shine, we are well and truly in the midst of winter still.
We're getting close to the nice weather though. We're not too far away.
We are Series 2. This place will probably be closer to a sauna, you would suspect.
Oh, I'm glad the next season, like next year's season, doesn't start till late March or mid-March, sorry, because you're going to miss those very hot February days.
Those February nights were certainly an arrival to the league.
Yes, plenty of drink breaks given out, and a
Certainly.
couple of cancelled games for the first time ever because of the heat.
Yes, absolutely.
So I wouldn't want to see that happen. So I'm kind of glad we're starting the season a bit later next year.
Sub, and he turned herself into trouble. Sargin just smashed it back to Rebecca Yee.
Very physical players, the Sargent twins. Very physical, which is good. You need to have some physicality in your team. As we see one take up down the line, and the shot is blocked out there by Yee. Tremendously good positioning by Rebecca Yee.
It'll be a Western United corner. Sargin for Abdul Latif. United just happy to tick down the seconds at the moment, take all of the time for Aku to come back into this game out of it. Allerton tried to turn it on. Abdul Latif didn't get a touch as Kasab approached.
She caught one there too. She's feeling a shin. Little corky there at the bottom of her shin. She's going to be feeling it for a moment. Let's see if she can run it off.
All the little things at the moment as well for Aku are just not adding up tonight. And Western United have been wonderful. This has been a truly terrific tactical display from Suleiman Mohammed and Elias Parthamos so far.
Yes, Western United look like have struck gold and will eliminate the golden season of Melbourne Aku tonight if result stays as is.
Allerton.
I honestly can't see Aku coming back at this point in time.
Sargin twins looking to sync up, however, it just trickled out of play. Williams for Hugh Beak. I'm pretty sure a lot on that Melbourne Aku bench could hardly believe what they are seeing at the moment.
Very quiet from the Aku bench. Obviously, not a lot of subs, and Kui kind of just letting the game play out. He's already won the league. I wonder if they went into this knowing that the result didn't matter for them in terms of the league.
They certainly would have known. They would have wanted to go invincible. However, Western United on the final day deny Melbourne Aku a spot in series futsal immortality. United were wonderful. They round out their season in the kind of form that they would want to. At the end of a brilliant night, at the end of a brilliant season, it's Western United 3, Melbourne Aku 0. And from myself, Ethan Rigg, from Tyler Lewis and from Josh Fusco has joined us too. It has been an absolute pleasure to showcase this season to you, to bring this league to you, and to bring all of the drama, all of the delight, the sublime, the supreme and the scarcely believable.
Don't forget, we're back in a fortnight. We only have the 1 week off, and the series season 2 kicks off on the 17th of August.
It absolutely does. We'll only be away for 2 weeks, so don't miss us too much. However, it's a massive thank you for tuning in, and we will see you towards the end of the month.
สำหรับผมในกีฬาฟุตซอลครับสองอย่างที่ต้องมีครับในตัวนักกีฬาฟุตซอลครับก็ระเบียบวินัยแล้วก็ความมุ่งมั่นครับมี2อย่างนี้ก็ทำให้คุณอาจจะประสบความสำเร็จได้ครับ
ก็ฟุตซอลเป็นเหมือน